anytime. What up, Jay?
Hey, what's up?
See you, baby. You all right?
Great. AB, can I say that I'm getting a contact high? Or
That's our cologne.
Oh, that's your, okay.
Indica.
Gotcha. All right.
It means in the couch.
Everybody that's gonna be anybody is gonna get canceled at some point in time.
I can't get canceled though.
You trying to get canceled.
How you gonna cancel me? I don't work for no one. I work for myself.
What do you want your legacy to be, though? What do you want to be remembered for?
One of the guys who did the right things, handled the right adversity to be able to put himself in the best position for his family and for my kids to come after. Thanks for coming.
I won't call you the Dennis Rodman of football anymore, okay? You closing that down?
Anytime. Welcome to Fearless with Jason Whitlock. I am Jason Whitlock, your host. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining me. We have an awesome show planned for you today, like we do every day, but this one's a little bit more special. We want to first start off by thanking our great friends at Good Ranchers for allowing us to make this possible. Good Ranchers is locking in your price until 2026 when you subscribe to any of their boxes of 100% American meat and seafood. Use my promo code FEARLESS at goodranchers.com and save 10%. Without further ado, where would I put you in the all-time MAC greatest players? Antonio Brown has to be one of the greatest MAC players of all time. Obviously, I played at Ball State University. That's why I followed AB's entire career. AB, welcome to Nashville. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Mr. Whitlock.
This is awesome. I'm looking forward to this conversation, AB. I say this in all sincerity. You and Greg Jennings, who played at Western Michigan,
Yes.
followed y'all's entire career. I graduated Ball State in 1990. I'm much older than you guys. I'm old enough to be your dads, but I follow all the great MAC players. So you and Greg Jennings were two guys I was like, oh man, these guys are going to kill it in the NFL, and people don't even know. And you were a 6th-round pick. They didn't know. But followed your whole career. Ben Roethlisberger was my favorite quarterback, another MAC guy from Miami of Ohio, played like John Elway. And so, AB, I say this in all seriousness, man, I love you, man. And been rooting for you and tiny bit concerned from time to time, but I'm looking forward to this conversation. So I want to start here.
Yes.
Would you rather be notorious or beloved?
I'd rather be neither.
You don't want to be beloved?
No.
You don't want to be notorious?
No.
What do you want to be?
I want to be AB.
What is AB?
A free spirit with a purpose. You know, I like to have fun, but most importantly, you know, I want to create a network where players get a chance to speak about their traumas and express their situations. You know, most time players are portrayed through the media, and media don't have a code of ethics or a code of conduct that they stick to. It's pretty much you can say anything you want, or you know, come at an athlete anywhere you want, and that usually be the narrative. So with ESPN, we want to be able to extend the voice to players, athletes, in regards to sharing their traumas and what they face, how they overcome them, how they remain great, and help some of the brothers that went through real trauma who wasn't able to, you know, come on the other side of it.
So you've said a lot there, maybe sped me up a little bit. ESPN.
Yes.
Most people hear that and they laugh. They giggle, they get a little smile on their face. Mm-hmm. AB's mocking ESPN, and maybe he's mocking the NFL a little bit as well. But you're trying to do something even more profound or serious than that?
Yeah, I want to shed light on players, their struggles, things they face, you know, how they handle them. You know, imagine being a player. You was a player. Imagine scrutiny being criticism on you, you know, people around you, you know, how you was raised. And fans only understand players from the media perspective, you know, and that's just one perception. And sometimes that perception cannot be reality. So we want to lend a voice to players in all seriousness in regards of getting them help with their traumas, if it's therapies, if it's whatever type of situation, to be able to help players handle these traumas and post-career things that we experience.
So why call yourself CTESPN, or why call the organization CTESPN?
Because that's the focus. You know, most of the times in the world now where people think CTE is if you crazy or if you got a concussion trauma that they can't really diagnose, they say CTE. So we want to be able to give fans the real attunement of the traumas that you face as players. If it's being cut, you know, being, you know what I mean, dropping the pass, or, you know what I mean, when your career over, your people leave you, or somebody took money from you, and, you know what I mean, just the adversities and the traumas it take with, you know, growing up trying to be great, or, you know, in your career, what you face of the media. You know what I mean? The media really control how fans view you. So if the media talk negative about a player all the time, usually that's a perception. But, you know, you got to see if players understand perception from reality. Because the perception the media create is not really the reality, but that's why we created CTESPN, so the fans could get an in-depth perspective of players and their traumas and how they deal with them.
So I hear that and think that a lot of that has to be personal in terms of you feel like you've been portrayed poorly or inaccurately by the media.
I feel like at times I have been portrayed different.
Negatively or inaccurately.
I feel like the media don't care what's accurate or inaccurate. They care what sells, what go viral, what get clicked. You know what I mean? They don't care how they make people look or what they make people experience by what they write. You know, just about is it going to grow their brand or help the news source get more relevant or more attention. And in that regards, you know, not only players, you know, experience bad situation post-career, you know, a couple players you may have heard about or read about, you know what I mean, who experienced CTE or had some type of trauma that no one was able to get to till it was too late. So we just want to be able to, you know, in one part of that aspect, explain and see players' traumas and be able to see how they get through things while being fun and breaking news and doing some things in the other avenue as well.
So help me. I'm someone who is, and again, I may be talking a little differently than what you're talking, but I'm someone that doesn't believe in CTE. I think it's exaggerated.
Exactly, and that's why we want to bring realization and recognize providing another voice network where players could get a chance to explain their stories, what they go through, what's the traumas like, what it's like being cut, what it's like being let down, what it's like having to change your career, what is, you know, the experience. You know what I mean? We want to provide that through our news network, the players' perspective and their experience, the different traumas, and be able to guide players through and help players through in regards of, you know, therapy or whatever, whatnot.
It's not all trauma, though.
I mean it can be.
But
imagine you play football, it's an aggressive game, it is trauma. You hitting guys every day for a living, that's trauma.
Some people enjoy it.
I know, but after it come to an end, so, you know, when it come to an end, how do you find another identity? Because sometimes players lose themselves in regards of having that identity and needing that outlet to be able to want to play, and like, how do they handle those things?
But as an athlete and a top-level football player, it can't all be trauma. Some people like enjoy that battle, enjoy that conflict, and they. I mean, I'm thinking back.
It's not normal, Jason. You know, it's not normal. Of course, we enjoy it because we're football players, but it's not real life. You know what I mean? It's just a certain part of your life. So, you know what I mean? We want to be able to, you know, discuss that with players and, you know, allow players to discuss their journeys on the platform in regards of, how they get through it. How was they able to be great in regards of what they got through, or, just show how they handle adversity, how you overcome adversity, how do you remain great, how do you deal with scrutiny, how do you deal with letdowns. The platform is giving players the attunement of the shared experience to be able to show people what it's like to be an athlete and what it's like, what you got to deal through and how you handle these things.
So I get that part,
Yeah.
but some of it feels like it's coming from a spirit of like, no, I want to push back against the media. The media's been unfair.
The media has been good to me. Let's get this clear. I am Antonio Brown and AB by the media, by me doing great things on the football field and putting myself in good position. I don't have no vendetta against nobody. The NFL provided me a platform to change my life for my family. Have I done things right within that regards all the time? Sometimes not. Have the NFL done some things right about it? Sometimes no. But that's a part of being humans. We grow, we realize, we don't make excuses. You know what I mean? I feel like the NFL been blessed to me. They provided me a platform to be able to change my life. You know what I mean? Change my kid's life, put myself in a blessed position that I dreamed about as a kid. So for me, there's no tenacity or no
Animus.
Yeah, no animosity there. It's a blessing, man, because the experience I got to be able to be here with you, to be able to play with Tom Brady, to be able to play with Ben Roethlisberger, to be able to be at an all-times Steelers organization, one of the most winningest, 6 Super Bowl champions as soon as you walk in. I can't, that's what my kids dream about. I had that experience that motivate them, so I don't have no hostility. I just want to be the peace and be the spirit that be able to give players that platform and that extra voice to, explain their stories, shed light on their stories in regards of being great, overcoming adversity and getting through adversity, because that was my story. I had a lot of adversity. You know my story, right?
Yeah, I want to get into it. I want to. I definitely. I want to get into that.
Let's get into it.
And so, but I want to just lay a little foundational piece. Let's go. If we dial the clock back to 2017, 2018.
Yes.
At that time.
Yes.
Everybody, including me and anybody that's watching football, is like, AB's going to be the next Jerry Rice. It's going to be, when they talk GOAT at the wide receiver and maybe all of football, it's going to be AB and Jerry Rice.
Yes.
From my perspective,
yes,
I was like, in 2018 or whatever, AB fell in love with social media.
No, I feel like 2017, man, I was working on being the greatest receiver ever in regards of everything what it take to be the best, the work, from the meeting room to the practice field to the field. And what I learned in regards of being the best, it's like, you see a change. You know what I mean? You see yourself. As a young kid, I just wanted to always, be the best. And I always talk to Calvin Johnson, and we always talking about getting to the top of the mountain. And, as a player, when you're working and getting to the top of the mountain and you realize, like, yo, this game we play is a business. And I had realized it was been a business just from being a young player, seeing Hines Ward, seeing how his relationship went with the quarterback in regards to he getting older and younger guys like myself and Emmanuel got to get more opportunities. And, he 12, 13 years in and he feeling like, yo, man, he's the pioneer stiller. And I started to understand the business, and I think in 2018, I had like 15 touchdowns, 1,200 yards, 100 catches. I think that was my 6th season doing it. And that's when I realized, like, people don't really appreciate greatness. You know what I mean? People these days in the NFL, when they see a young player that's being great and doing great things, it's just like, it's a scrutinize on them right away. It's a takedown on them. Even like you're one of the guys in the media, what's your guy name? Jesse Washington.
Jesse Washington.
Yeah, you got guys like Jesse Washington writing about me in the time where I'm being the greatest receiver they probably ever seen in this time of era. You know what I mean? I'm literally being that. You got guys writing articles like, yo, AB, personal dramas that I got with my family, and it's like it got nothing to do with football. You know what I mean? And then it's like 2018, I'm playing with the Steelers. I come later, miss a meeting, it's on the news. You was witnessing all the drama. I think you commentated one of my games and it was like, yo, he missed the meeting last night, but he showed up tonight with a touchdown. I think you was commentating one of those situations, and it just, as a human, when you want to be great and you find yourself when you right in the midst of it, right in the brink of it, where it's starting to make sense, everything you dream about. It's like when the coach tell you it's light at the end of the tunnel, and you right in the end of the tunnel and your dreams are manifesting. Everything you work for, everything you wrote down with God, everything you put your whole spirit into is happening, and then you see it change the people around you. You see it start to affect my relationship with Ben. You know, and Dan Rooney had just passed, and me and him was like this, like Dan Rooney would come to him, but yo, get AB to, you know, stuff he used to do just to, you know, make my spirit feel good as a player. And it's like, we don't have that no more. Now it's like, we got a young kid here, you know how the business of football. It's like when you being great so long, you probably, you know, as an analyst, Mr. Whitlock, you probably study the history of players who be great. Everybody don't get the Larry Fitzgerald where they can keep you at an organization for 17 years and keep it positive on your name and don't put no scrutiny in, just let you be great. You know what I mean? I was getting so much scrutiny, then they brought another young receiver who they was making it seem like he could be what I am.
Juju.
Yes. You remember that, right?
Yeah,
you remember all that. So now it's like, you working for a company that's providing, you know, imagine the trauma. That's why I started this. Imagine the trauma you got to deal with when you've been great for an organization so long, and now you realizing they're trying to make somebody else you, and they're trying to push you to the side based on media write-ups. And
why wouldn't you just call it, that's the game?
Of course that's the game. But as
and when I say the game,
of course, that's what
the game of life.
No, that's the game of football. That's not the game of life.
Okay. Are you still single? Are you still single?
I mean, I got a couple of relationships.
Yeah, are they not competing? Is there not a competition to be AB's number one and someone else trying to well, I want to be number one. I'm number 3.
Nah, but listen, when you competing, you really take the results. You know what I mean? When you competing, it's a result factor of truth. What you done lately, what's your stats, what this person done, that all got to be intangible in regards of competing. But when we talking about a business and competition, it's not like that in business and competition. If it's a regular competition, then you're going to go with whoever beat in the competition. But when it become business and competition, usually the business is always trying to go cheaper. That's the name of the NFL. You know the business.
That's accurate. And so I get you're on the Jerry Rice path.
Yes,
so
in
what
real time.
What I'm hearing from you is like, oh, they're trying to undermine me staying on the Jerry Rice path. They done brought in Juju.
No, Juju can't. Let's put it. Juju is not on my level as a football player. Let's get that clear.
That's not even a question.
So I don't want to say they was undermining me. It just, when you working for an organization and you accomplishing your dream and doing something great, and you realize not everybody with you in the midst of what you're doing. It's a team game. It's not just about what I'm doing. It's involved what the team want. The team involved a salary cap. The salary cap involved the player contracts and what players get paid. The team is I'm getting 17.5 million to play football in this time of, you know what I mean, the Steelers. The Steelers, let's get this clear, they never played a player outside the quarterback this type of money ever. And they had ultimate legendary players outside of myself that was there. So the barriers of what I was breaking and what I was doing was unmatched. But these teams don't do this for long. You know, Jerry Rice played for 20 years for how many teams?
Most of them were San Francisco, but at the end, didn't he go to Oakland?
Seattle, he got cut from Denver. You can look him up. He played 20 years and was on like how many teams? Seattle. We gotta look up how many.
Sure, he was with Seattle.
Yes, he was with Seattle.
I know he put up big numbers.
Come on, Mr. Whitlock, you
a receiver, of course you know.
Okay.
I mean, ask me about offensive linemen.
Okay.
Tell you everything about Mike Webster.
Okay. Yeah, Jerry Rice played 20 years for. Jerry Rice got cut by the Denver Broncos in his career. So imagine how he went out. Let's look him up so we could look at the comparables, so we could see like. When I'm being smart as a player and I'm studying, you know what I mean, other great players that came before me and how it ended up for them, And when I experienced what I experienced from sitting right next to Hines Ward in the meeting room since 2010 and seeing what he go through. So I learned as a player. How many teams?
Cup of coffee with Seattle, 3 teams, San Francisco, Oakland, and a cup of coffee, 11 games, it looks like, with Seattle.
And he finished his career cut with Denver.
At 42 or 43.
Yeah. So that's what that go to show you. If Jerry Rice was the greatest receiver of all time and had to be moved from his team, the 49ers, you know why? Because they thought they had Terrell Owens.
Till 38. He was 38 when he left San Francisco.
How many years was that? 12 years?
That's 2000. It was like 15 years. He's 85 is his rookie year in San Francisco. Let me finish my point, or let me ask you, because it ain't really about me. It's about what you say. But you brought up Jesse Washington, who friend of mine, guy that I brought to ESPN, a tremendous journalist, and I liked that piece because he was trying to interview you. He couldn't get the interview, and so he tried to interpret you through what you were posting on Instagram. You were more conversive and more vulnerable and more raw over social media than you were with the media, and so he went that path. And he didn't get this opportunity to sit down across from you. He had to interpret you through social media, and that's where I see kind of like social media as a cursing and a blessing for AB.
But I feel like the media will often write stories to portray players as they receive them, which is not the reality. You know what I mean? Like, they write stories for how they perceive him. Like, he was writing a story of what he thought AB was because he wasn't able to get the interview for AB. But that wasn't reality. That was just his.
Why not sit down with it?
Yo, like, I'm in the middle of football, champ. I mean, the media team who work for the Steelers decide who we talk to on the course of the week and what they schedule for as the media PR. I don't decide while I'm playing football who I talk to. It wasn't like I had a personal vendetta where I'm just like, yo, I don't want to talk to this guy. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's just sad when the media create a reality, a false reality. They create their perspective, which is not reality. It's like, now I have a media person putting his perspective of what he think about me from an online space. Online is not reality. You know what I'm saying? Online is a space where you could go to express yourself and get away from your real life or, your real work in life. It's a problem to, it could be a little toxic, but I feel like depending on the way you use it, it could be a good thing.
Can be. But it can, as you're...
It's a bad thing when you have people in the media that create a perspective about players that's not reality. That's why I go back to the CT ESPN. It's like, imagine you a football player and you have a guy that work in the media that just created a perspective. He could have just wrote all kind of negative things. You read how many negative personal things in my life, my kids, my family, like, just went on a whole rant to create his own perspective of what he thought I was as a person. And it's like, yo, that's what the fans read and perceive when you work for these networks at ESPN. And that's what people think of me when people write these false realities. And that's why, you know what I mean? I don't think I was threatening to them. I didn't want to, I apologize if I came off as threatening because I didn't want to be threatening. But, this is why I created the media, because the media often write these stories of what their perception is, and their perception is usually not reality. It's just what they think. It's a hypothesis, and there's no code of ethics of someone could just write about you and your family and what they think about you as I'm being an entertainer. He don't know, who I am, what I believe in, and what I stand for.
I want to clearly make sure the audience and you are clear on one thing. Jesse and I used to be friends. Have known each other since 94, 95, or 96, somewhere around in there, but haven't talked to Jesse in recent years.
Yeah.
And so what I will say is I respect Jesse as his own man. I don't think he was sitting around going, oh man, AB's going to beat me up. Not that Jesse's no tough guy, but he's a fair journalist, grown man, understands that athletes and subjects are going to get upset from time to time. It was all good. But what I'm suggesting, AB, is that, like, like you're sitting down with me and conducting a very high-level conversation. It seems like when you were playing, you weren't willing to do that with people in the media, and so they resorted to, well, let me interpret him through social media.
Yeah, but the media will often write stories about their perceptions of players, their perception, and that's not reality. You know what I mean?
You can correct that perception. Who is AB? You tell us who is AB. And
I know, but like, you know, my actions would speak louder than anything my words would ever say. You know, I feel like AB is a guy who came from Liberty City that been through a lot of adversity, that handled a lot of adversity, that put himself in the best position. A smart individual, you know what I mean, who put himself in a good position. I walked on to Central Michigan. You know, my daddy was a great football player, the greatest arena football player of all time, and touchdown Eddie Brown. You know, I didn't have the luxury to grow up with him. He was away facing traumas playing football. My mom raised me, Adrian King. You know, she had different traumas. My grandma originated from the Cat Islands of Bahamas. My grandma moved to Miami, Liberty City in the 1900s, you know, and started my family. You know what I mean? My mom was into street life in Miami, you know, as a young age, you know, my uncle.
what do you mean by that?
A street life, meaning like you grew up in the streets of Miami, Liberty City, you know
What
what
does
I mean?
that mean? Some people hear that. Was she selling drugs? Was she?
My mama never sold drugs. She worked a good job, 9 to 5 in Miami, but just she was in the streets, meaning like, you know, she grew up in Liberty City, where it's an inner black culture, where it's like, you know, it's violence in the neighborhood, it's drug selling in the neighborhood, but my mama was never a part of that. It just, that's the way we grew up at, you know what I mean? So, you know, my grandma was the stability of our family, but my mother made sure all my brothers went to college, graduated, you know what I mean?
Your brothers?
Yeah.
All went to college? And
Of course.
how many brothers is that?
brother
Older,
Eddie,
younger?
My older brother, Eddie Brown, he graduated from Delaware State University. My younger brother, Desmond Brown, graduated from University of Pittsburgh. So,
Were they athletes or?
yeah, my brother played running back, Des Brown, and my older brother, Eddie Brown, played receiver. We was all athletes.
And they went to school on football scholarships?
Yes, scholarships.
And then, so in Liberty City, I read that at some point you were homeless.
No, I would have never say I was homeless. I just felt like, you know, I bounced around. I think people use that term homeless like you ain't got nowhere to go. Let's get this clear. I always had a place to go. My grandma still owned her house right down 95th Street and 17th, right down the dead end street right there. That's always been there. My mom owned a house in Miami. She always did. I just had trauma at the house where I bounced around. Like my mom always be like, oh, you want to be homeless? Because my mama loved me. She always wanted me to be with her. But, you know, as a kid, a teenager, you know, I grew up early. You know, I kind of experienced these traumas that helped me be a man early.
What are the traumas? Can you clarify that? Or
Traumas is just growing up in a Liberty City atmosphere. Traumas like you growing up seeing, you know, people sell drugs. You growing up.
were you doing that?
No, I never had to do that. I always was an athlete. I played Gwen Cherry. My mama always kept me away from those things. I played at Gwen Cherry Park for 12 years. Since I was 6 years old till I was 15, till I went to high school, I played football every summer. So don't get it twisted, man. I was raised right. My grandma instilled good principles in me. My mother instilled hard work in me. My dad was a football player, one of the greatest. So I come from good soil. I come from good genes. My grandma and my family from the Cat Islands of Bahamas. So my grandma moved here because she was good at sewing, running the business. So let's get this twisted. I never was homeless. I always had. My family always had. It just, I didn't stay with my mom, so my mom always be like, oh, my baby homeless. But I was with my friend who played football. And that's what I dreamed. My dream was always to take care of my family, take care of my mom, and be the best football player I could be. And that's what I did. No matter what circumstance or what adversity I faced, I overcame it. I didn't let it become a boulder or stop me. I got it done. No matter what people said, oh yeah, he may be, people try to call me small, Whitlock. I'm not small. You see how big I am is over here. You see how big I am is in
Compared
person.
to who? Have you seen?
Compared to whoever.
Keyshawn Johnson.
Keyshawn Johnson can't hold my jock strap. No
I
matter
got
how,
it.
No matter how big you is, people always try to put a jealousy statement on me because I've been able to have my way. I came out as a junior at Central Michigan. That's never been done as a receiver. Since I walked on the field, I've been doing windmills. Since I got to the Steelers, I've been a starter. If it was on special teams or was at receiver. So I don't want people to minimize my role, to act like
Why wouldn't you beat your chest like, man, I'm smaller than these dudes, but I'm killing them?
No, why would I be small? Why was
Compared to the 6'3", 220-pound receiver?
I could do more than them.
I know.
So what, you know what I mean? So you can't say I'm small. I never been small. No one can never say I'm small. Small where?
You don't like being the underdog?
Nah, I never was the underdog. I'm the overdog. You know what I'm saying? I never was under.
You went in the 6th round from the MAC.
Because they made a mistake. I was putting up 100 catches then. I was putting up 1,000 yards then. I was scoring on punt returns then. I was taking kicks then. I ain't never been small. I feel like people try to minimize my role because I'm great.
How is that minimizing your role? Why isn't it like giving you extra credit?
Because if I'm minimizing your role, it's like I'm seeking comfort or making excuses for why you this. It ain't no excuse that I'm great and I'm nice. You know what I mean? I'm not 6'4", but I'm not 5'9". You know what I'm saying? And I never been stopped. So I don't like when people try to put a little smut on my rep. Like, I never been homeless. My grandma stayed on 95th, 48, Little River Boulevard. She had that crib since the 1900s. My uncle Keonis King, he's over there. My auntie's over there. I always could go over there. My mom owned a house in Lauderdale, right in Miami, right by the stadium of Miami. So, like, let's not get that clear. AB always been a young, independent kid at 16 who wanted to be great because I knew what type of family situation my mom and my people was. I wanted more for myself and I wanted more for them. So I had to go be with my friends who wanted to be great in football because that's what I wanted to be. That's who I wanted to be. So that's what I was chasing. So, you know, as a kid, I want you to, you know, you got to have a plan, have a belief in yourself. And I always had that, you know, my grandma always taught me that as a kid. You know, to have a vision, you know, write down what you want to be, see yourself, you know what I mean, and work your way in that position. And I think I did a good job coming from Miami and dealing with, you know, situations, you know what I mean?
Great opportunity to introduce our new viewers to part of our life purpose here and mission at Fearless. We support an organization, Preborn, because Preborn supports our worldview that life begins at conception. Preborn is one of the most dynamic and best organizations that is fighting the abortion culture that has overtaken America. Preborn provides expectant mothers who are considering abortion, they provide them with an ultrasound and introduce that expectant mother to her baby while the baby's in the womb. The ultrasound, heartbeat, an image of that baby. Once that mother hears that heartbeat, sees that image, she is now twice as likely to choose life. And that's when Preborn really steps in and steps up. They support the woman, the mother, the baby through the first 9 months of that baby's life in the womb and the first 2 years of the baby's life outside the womb. Diapers, baby food, whatever that woman needs, Preborn is there in support. They're in support because we support Preborn. This is part of our purpose. This is part of our worldview. This is our heart. This is what God has put on those of us that have chosen to be fearless soldiers. He's put it on our heart to support Preborn and to support mothers. 2 ways to give. Pound 250, say the keyword baby, or you can give the way I prefer to give, preborn.com/fearless. That's preborn.com/fearless. If you're new to the Fearless Army, if you're new to this worldview, this is one of the most gratifying, edifying, most just God-pleasing things you can do. Support babies in the womb. Preborn.com/fearless, pound 250, keyword baby. So you mentioned your grandmother, your mom, and your dad.
Yeah.
Of those 3,
Yes.
and again, you can pass on the question if it's not a good one, but
Yeah.
who had the most influence on your worldview, perspective on life?
My grandma.
Why?
I feel like my grandma was just, you know, like the position I'm in today, you know, was me and my grandma talked about all the time since I was a kid. My grandma lived to be 100. Her name was Doris King. She came from Cat Island and made a life in Liberty City with just independent business of sewing and doing cleaners work. And my grandma just always taught me about spirit and knowing who I am and staying true to who I am in regards of, you know what I mean, know myself and being myself. Staying true to myself and, you know, always keeping that confidence about myself no matter what. So I developed those principles as a young kid with my grandma.
Between your mom and dad, who had the most influence?
Probably my mom. Well, my dad, of course, because my dad done great things in his life. That as a kid, you know, being the son of a father who done some great things. Like my dad got 340 touchdowns in the AFL.
Arena Football League, for those of you that don't.
Yeah. My dad's the greatest arena football player ever over Kurt Warner. You know that?
I'm somewhat aware of that.
Come on, Google that right now. So
no, I know. I know your dad.
I want you to know where I come from. My dad is elite. I come from elite soil. Like my dad is touchdown Eddie Brown. Like, what do you think that make me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I come from good genes. I'm just not a guy who just came from under a rock. Like, I was born. My dad was you feel me? My dad went to the Cardinals, was playing left there because he went to the AFL. That's where he felt comfortable. He played 12 years for the Albany Arena football team. You know, I bought that football team as well. You experienced, you saw some of that trauma I went through with buying the team. But yeah, my dad is the greatest, man. Can you pull up his stats? Let's just see my dad so y'all can know where I come from. AB's just not a guy coming from Liberty City who, I come from good genes. Like my daddy was a star. My daddy also went to Louisiana Tech College, was a receiver at Louisiana Tech. You know, he put up big stats there too. I want you to, you feel me? So people could know where I come from. I'm not just a guy you could just pull up at the gas station, you know what I'm saying, take your pistol out and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just found a picture of your dad or his, he's got a Wikipedia page.
Of course, my dad's lit.
Yeah, actually your dad's younger than me. So again, just like I said,
my dad a movie theater. Pull up his stat, how many tutties? I think me and my dad got like 900 catches apiece. That's like 1,800 in the generational. I got 5 sons coming up on
950 receptions, 12,736 yards.
Both got 12,000 yards together.
303 touchdowns.
Got a lot of tutties. I'm probably like 90 some. You add up all of them. Think about it. Between me and my dad, that's 24,000 yards. That's 1,800 catches, and that's about 400 tutties. You see what I'm saying, Mr. Whitlock?
So y'all, Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. of football, is that?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
We
Barry Bonds and what's Barry Bonds' dad's name? Why am I forgetting?
Yeah, we one of those
Bobby
guys.
Bonds.
Like,
Is it Bobby? Yeah.
I come from that, LeBron James, Bronny James, you feel me?
Oh, no, don't compare yourself. Who's Bronny and you and your dad's situation?
Bronny's nice. Give Johnny a chance. I'm just saying, for black elite athletes whose sons done it at a high level, I wish Bronny do it well.
Yeah, hope. You got a resume. He's got hope.
I'm wishing him well. I didn't say that to compare him. I'm wishing Bronny to do it great. I want to see him do it great as his dad. I'm just saying we in the elite club with father and sons who put up the work. To let people know where I come from, because I feel like a lot of people don't know where I come from. Or like what my dad did. You know what I mean? Because in the media, they don't exemplify that no more. You know what I mean? A lot. Now you know I come from eliteness, you know what I mean? So I feel like when people know you come from a football background, you get a little bit more respect. Like, oh yeah, his dad, like, you know what I'm saying?
Who do you think people are disrespecting Antonio Brown?
I don't feel like no one disrespected. I just feel like people are misinformed because the media create perceptions about people, and it's not factual, it's just perception. That's why I go back to this.
I'm going to give you an example.
You know what I mean?
Let me give you an example of what you do.
All right, let me see
Create
what I
a
do.
misconception.
What I do? Let me hear what I do.
You criticized or trolled Caitlin Clark over Twitter.
I trolled her or I brought attention to her?
I don't.
Let's
you did something to irritate her, and it created the impression you didn't like Caitlin Clark when you actually like Caitlin Clark.
I love Caitlin Clark. She's one of the best athletes, women's sports right now. She's one of the best. Could we say that?
Yes.
Of course. So I brought positive attention to Caitlin Clark.
Why did she block you then?
I don't know why she blocked me. She might like me and felt emotional, like she can't stand me. Maybe I hit a nerve in her. But it's Twitter, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's excitement, it's entertainment. But let's get this clear. We only want to bring the positive, constructive criticism from my news station to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is an elite basketball player who's doing an amazing thing, and she get what? No scrutiny. So we made a positive entertainment scrutiny saying it's hairy. Is it hairy? I don't know. But it's a funny entertainment to bring awareness to her and what she's doing. She's doing some great things.
What are you saying? She gets no blowback? Have you not seen some of these angry women?
What did they say?
Oh my God, Diana Taurasi, Cheryl Swope, they hate Caitlin Clark.
Why they hate her?
I think because she likes men. Just, just to keep it real.
I feel like they hate Caitlin Clark because she's like the poster girl who just get all the attention, all the praise right now in women's sports. Like if I said Angel Reese, keep it clean shave, you think people would make a big deal about that?
Well, I don't know if people did. No. I don't know if people did make a big deal about it. What ended up happening is Caitlin Clark blocked you over Twitter, and then people made a big deal about that and we wouldn't even know. You told us that.
It's entertainment. That's what the purpose of CT ESPN. We bring in attention to positive things of athletes doing positive things.
So I saw you went to her game before. You were in Dallas.
Yes, we like greatness. We appreciate greatness. Caitlin Clark is greatness. We're really entertaining and bringing attention to what she's been able to do in women's basketball. I think is transcending with her and Angel Reese, the things they've been able to do. We're coming into the women's basketball game. I've seen you've been talking about it a lot. When I ask you about what do you feel about it. But I feel like, as a
let's keep it all the way real.
Let's keep it 100. As a news media people, I feel like we got to do a good job, which is building all women or all players, all men, people who are stars, and treating them all the same. I feel like the media create a perception and have their poster child who they want to protect and how they talk about this person. Even seeing Tom Brady last night with the jokes he had. You know what I mean? I think people need to be more relaxed and enjoy comedy of being a human and being able to laugh, being able to be entertained, because life is hard, man. Everyone's going through something. We all going through something or facing something we got to get through. So anytime you can have a positive, light perspective and bring attention to stuff that's, funny, I think it's good energy.
Make sure, people here, make sure I circle back to, he just referenced Tom Brady and the jokes last night, and I got to make sure I follow up on that. But I want to stick on Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
Yes.
I want to see if you want to get as real as me. So why I keep talking about women's basketball and why there's so much attention on women's basketball is because Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have convinced these other young players to present themselves as feminine women rather than as angry, feminist, mad at men. It's like a group of heterosexual women have come into the WNBA, and people like that. They want to see women who are happy being women, not women who are pretending to be men.
I feel like in the world nowadays, you just gotta accept and love people for who they are. We all, as a human, we got a freedom to choose who we want to be.
We do?
Yeah, you could be a transgender if you want. They support you now. You could be whoever you want, and they got a club of people.
Who decided that?
You.
God? Did God decide that?
No, God got nothing to do with that, but that's the world we live in. God say don't be conformed to the world. This is the world we live in.
And then we're conforming to the world, not his design. God created man and woman.
Of course, but in the world these days, if you read the Bible, God said it was going to come to days like this. So it's not like it's a surprise, but I feel like in the world we live in, that's the norm. And I feel like with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark coming in as, women who are themselves, though. It's not like they just changed now that they're going to the women's NBA. I feel like just the culture now with women who are women, beautiful women, and they play a sport and committed to it, and it's a good thing.
So, I used to love when you would tweet out, I really did, call God.
Yeah, that's still the motto.
It made me go, oh, AV, he's in pursuit of a relationship with, am I reading that right?
God always first, man. Let's be real. We wouldn't be in this position without God. You feel me? I wouldn't be who I am without God. You know what I mean? You got to be.
Were you raised in a church at all? Did you go to church?
Yeah, my grandma took me to 93rd Baptist Church growing up. That was our church, Reverend Carl Johnson. He probably been over there for 40 years. So we grew up in the Baptist church. My grandma took her money down there every week. You know what I mean? But obviously, you know, to be in the position and to come from where I come from, you got to have a relation with God. You know what I mean? To be able to.
And so when I started out saying, like, man, I really love AV and I relate to his journey and struggle, part of me, and this is on a far more serious, it's just like, I want to, if I can in any way, and I don't, this isn't coming from any place of arrogance. This is just coming from a sincere, like, man, we got to get this dude right with God. And I think it would clear up some of the confusion if your relationship with God was a bit better. No?
I feel like my relationship with God is great. I mean, I pray. You know, I serve God, I do the right things, you know what I mean? That's what life's about, man. You ain't got no life if you got no connection with God. Spiritual is everything, man. If you looking yourself in your eyes and knowing who you truly are and what your real purpose and what you're doing here.
See, now you're talking my language. That's what I'm talking about. It's like God designed us.
Of course.
And so we can't, I can't raise my hand and say, you know what, I don't like your design, God.
Nah,
I'd rather be a woman.
Embrace it, Now you can't, I'm not saying I agree with, you know what I'm saying, what's going on in the world. That's why I said, God said don't be conformed to the world. I'm a man fully, you know what I mean? I don't, but whoever people is, I don't make judgment. That's for God to judge them. I respect people for who they are. You know what I'm saying? I'm not chilling with no rainbows. I'm not doing no, you know what I'm saying? But whoever you are, I respect who you are. And I'm not God to judge you. And God bless you.
Got you. Now I want to circle back to, you made a comment about Tom Brady. Did you watch the
I didn't get to watch it, but of course my people watch it.
What did you hear about the Kevin Hart joke about that you took Giselle as a +1?
That's what he said?
Yeah.
That's funny.
What is your relationship like with Tom Brady?
I mean, it's cool. I think I talked with him like 2 weeks ago, but I feel like it's getting back cool. You know what I'm saying? I feel like as people, as men, when you realize, you know what I'm saying, we all make mistakes, and you realize as people we all go through different things and just trying to get through things, and I think as men we grow. And I may have not did some things right on my part in regards of the trauma I felt, and I feel like he probably felt the same way in regards of, you know, the things he did. But that's a part of being human. We both be men and admit our mistakes in regards of the things that we may have did that was, you know, wasn't fundamentally right.
You don't owe us this, but I'm going to ask. What did you do wrong to Tom Brady?
I feel like, you know, a lot of stuff I did, you know, online, you know, could have been handled a lot better.
Such as?
I mean, some stuff that I did, you know, I don't want to go back and reflect or bring back 100 past, but I feel like as a man, you know, in your heart, when you right with God in regards of some things you could have done better or some things I could have handled better. I just feel like when I walked off the field, you know, I was in an emotional standpoint in regards of how the team treated me and what I felt in regards of everyone. So I feel like I just, you know, did what was right for myself in regards of, you know, how I use, you know what I mean, the position I'm in to trajectorize my rap career or my entertaining. You know what I mean? I feel like I walked off the field, dropped the song, used some stuff in regards of promoting. But
so you felt like you made Brady part of the promotion of being an entertainer.
Of course.
And that was a mistake.
I feel like it wasn't a mistake. I feel like that's what was done. I feel like sometimes people do things and they try to say they didn't know what they was doing. I mean, I think I knew what I was doing at that time. And I feel like looking back in regards of what was done, it could have been handled better, but I feel like at the time, we all do things at the time that feel right, and as you grow, as people, you look back and like, well, I shouldn't. Just like the Raiders, you know what I mean? The Raiders took a chance on me and believe in me. You know, I think as a football player, when you're a good player, you know, you stay on the same team. They just keep extending you. You never get a chance to test the market and see who really believe in you, giving you guarantees. And you know what I mean? I feel like as you grow and you mature and you look back on a lot of things you could have done better. And that's a part of being a human, a part of being a father, a part of being a steward of God, of just wanting to learn and wanting to be better. You know what I mean?
So Brady, going back to New England and then Tampa Bay.
Yes.
How would you describe him as a friend, then as a teammate?
Yeah. I feel like when 2019, I had a chance to, go to the Patriots New England week 2. And I think I met Tom Brady just, in the field, like, yo, from the meeting room, I feel like he got a really chance to, see what I'm about. A lot of people see me on TV, read about me or see online, but that was the first time I got a chance to be in the facility, routine, working, taking the meeting room to the practice, around new people I never been around. And I think the friendship level was, at that point, was just like ultimate respect. You know what I mean? Because that was a point where it's like I just came from the Raiders, still was at the top of getting the big contracts. I think the Patriots paid me like $10 million salary, $5 million signing bonus. So it's just a respect thing, like, yo, this kid AB is a genius, man. He understand the plays, got a lot of energy, want to win, know how to win. Like, I feel like that was the start to something great where he like, yo, man, I could use this guy, you know what I mean? So that was like, when you first meet someone and you realize, like, man, you know what I mean? You're like, you know what I mean? You meet your partner in crime where you're like, yo, I got a lot of intangibles like this person. They work hard, they take it serious, and it's like a match made in heaven. You know what I mean? And then it just ended after one game. You know what I mean? Then we had to wait a whole year for us to put a plan in place. And that was the most amazing thing, in 2019 with playing with Tom Brady. It's like after we, the first game we played the Patriots, who led the team that game? You know who led the team that game in 2019?
No.
Can we pull that stat up, Mr. Whitlock, before you fall asleep? I'm a big stat guy. Some people do addition, subtraction. Some people do
Why you think I'm gonna fall asleep?
Do calculus. Bigger numbers. I want you to look this up so you can see the facts.
What are the facts? I'm looking. Go ahead.
AB paid the Patriots game in 2019, one game. Who lead the team? I just got there week 2.
Oh, you talking about the one game in New England? Yeah.
Who led the team?
Yeah, you did. I remember. Yeah, you had a good game.
How many yards I have?
I'm.
AB led the team, right? Then the next week, I figured it out. The NFL don't want me to win with Tom Brady, especially not on the Patriots. Know why? I'm a Steeler, right? So they released me, right, Mr. Whitlock?
Yeah.
Me and Tom Brady, we make an educated plan of what we got to do to come get me back to the league. 2020, you go to Tampa Bay, I come back half the year. You remember that, right?
Yes.
You got that on the timeline. So 2019, I lead the team versus the Pats. The next week we got against the Jets, they cut me. I make $5 million that year off one game. So what did that tell you about the NFL wanting Antonio Brown to win the Super Bowl in New England with Tom Brady? You think they wanted that?
Why wouldn't they?
They don't want that to happen. Randy Moss was able to go to New England and win the Super Bowl?
He didn't.
Of course. Why that happen?
Because they lost to the Giants.
Yeah, I guess they lost, but I always think it's a reason why things happen. But they don't want that to happen, right? Why would they pay me $5 million for one game?
Because they were hoping to get a whole season out of you.
Why wouldn't you get a whole season out of that guy for $5 million you gave him?
Because you were involved in controversy. Didn't they have that woman come out and make some accusation?
Exactly. Because that's what the NFL do when you're doing your own things. I was able to get myself out the deal with the Steelers. Remember, I posted that on Instagram. Remember, I posted the video, ended my 9 years career after 2018? So I was able to make smart decisions for myself. The NFL is not a business where players can actually make the moves for themselves. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Whitlock? I was fortunate that I was able to put myself in some good positions in regards to my career. You know, if I could have...
So you, hold for a second, you think the NFL did not want you to leave Pittsburgh and that you created a situation where you could get out and then you got a better deal from Oakland.
Yes, I did.
Money from New England.
Of course, because you remember Oakland added an extra $20 million and gave a guarantee. Thank God for John Gruden and Mike Mayock. You know I messed that up because...
Yes, we do.
I was thinking bigger picture. I could have got the $30 million, which what most human people would do. But I already had made almost $100 million with the Steelers over 2010, 2012. I got a $42 million deal. 2017, I got a 5 for 75. 2019, I went to Oakland Raiders, got a 3 for 53 with 30 guaranteed. So I'm trying to break down, because sometimes the media, they don't break down the intangible details to make the audience understand the reality of what went on. So when you got guys in the media that create a perception of their own perception, that's not reality, you know what I'm saying? Change the perception of what the fans really think of players. That's why it's good to come talk to people like you, Mr. Whitlock, so we could go over the real timeline and break things down for people to see the real time of what things happen and how they affect players and how players handle it and how that puts you in the position that it put people in.
So what would you say if someone said you got greedy?
How would I got greedy?
Because you kept manipulating situations. Let me get out of Pittsburgh so I can get an even better deal.
No, but it wasn't about the deal. Pittsburgh, I wanted to get out of Pittsburgh because I was realizing we're not going to win the Super Bowl. We're not going to do anything great. How we going to do anything great? You put in your top receiver against a kid he's a rookie. This kid, you know what I mean, was a rookie just by the great, you know what I mean? You think a rookie receiver going to be able to take 2 double teams and the best guy every week? He's not even prepared. So when the organization is going away a direction where it don't preeminate championships, we play football to be champions and to change the life of your family. With me making deals I already changed the lives of my family from the contracts that we already said and talked about. At this point, I wanted to be a champion. So I'm not trying to leave the team because the money not situation. Of course, I got to make sure I get the right deal when I'm testing the markets because I'm a player. I want to put myself with the top players, but at the same time, that wasn't the goal. The whole ultimatum was for me to become a champion, and that's what I want people to understand. When I left the Raiders, it wasn't because I didn't want the money. The money was present. The $30 million was guaranteed. You could put up the contract. It was there. But I felt like I didn't want to be that guy who went to Oakland for money and just finished my career for money. You know, I wanted to be able to get that championship. Bill Belichick was talking to my agent, Drew Rosenhaus, the whole process and trying to make sure I get to, you know what I mean, a better situation. And when I got to the situation went down. I had a good game at the end of that year, but I was able to meet Tom Brady and develop that connection to where we developed the plan for off the field to be able to get me back on the field for 2020.
I need to make a mental note to make sure I circle back to that, but I want to go back to, you seem to be arguing that Pittsburgh did something incredibly stupid by, what are y'all doing with Juju Smith when I'm here and you're trying to promote him, and so that's not going to help us win right away. Is that not part of the argument you're making?
It wasn't about who they're promoting. It's about the team being able to go to the next level and win the championship. Forget who you promoting. Are we going to win? 2018, I don't even think we made the playoffs. I think we made the playoffs against Cleveland. I didn't play. They lost the first game at home.
Some people would argue, you would disagree, it was like you created so much chaos or dysfunction that they couldn't win. That's part of
one player don't change the dynamic of you winning. Teams provide the culture of winning. Winning is not what someone write online. Winning is the preeminent culture that's created by an organization or a team. That preeminates winning. So I didn't leave because they was promoting something. I left because it wasn't in their DNA as an organization or as a culture.
You just got 6 Super Bowls.
Yeah, they don't got none since we've been there. I understand what they got. I understand what they're trying to get. What you have and what you're trying to get is something different. And I had to realize that to be able to put myself in the best
Put
position.
a name on it then, because you're making me speculate about, what didn't you believe in?
The culture.
Who creates the culture? Mike Tomlin or the Rooneys?
The leaders, the players.
The players, people.
Of course, the
So
players.
you think the play, is it Big Ben then?
I feel like, it ain't nobody to blame. It's just the overall culture that's created by the player. It's everyone. Everyone who's a part of the culture of the team provide the culture of winning.
Including AB.
Of course, including me too. That's what I was saying. That's why I said I understood that the culture of what we was in of the Steelers wasn't preeminent winning. Just the energy. Man, we had Bonkeys Pouncey one year, had a surgery, man. I think a whole year it was just, you know what I mean? I don't know if the doctor messed him up one year. He lost so much weight. It was just, David DeCastro one year cut Pouncey low, took his ACL out one year. You remember that? It was just the culture of winning, you know what I mean? You know good cultures. I was there when I was a rookie in 2010 when we went to the Super Bowl. So I understand the intangibles of winning in culture.
So you've given it a lot of thought. You can't point to what was the matter with the culture?
I mean, the culture, people decide the culture. Us as the players, the organization. It wasn't nothing that preeminated winning a Super Bowl or doing something special for the Steelers. You know what I mean?
So, okay, if you're in a different...
2018, let me put you a picture. Let me tell you what type of stuff that was spiraling, man. 2018, we had, what's the linebacker guy? What's my guy name? Hurt his back.
Light skin.
Shazier.
Shazier
hurt his back, man. We got James. All right, Shazier hurt his back. That happened. We got James Harrison on our team that year. He's on our team that year.
On that, yeah.
We got a game in Cincinnati, the same game that Shazier hurt his back. James Harrison flying with the team, dip out, leave. He ain't playing, dip back out. I think James Harrison traded our team that year to go on the Patriots. You remember that year, 2018? It was like, yo, what? James Harrison, a preeminent Steeler player who's been playing free agent for the Steelers almost 12.
Undrafted free agent.
Undrafted, Mac Daddy guy playing with the Steelers 12, 13 years. For him to come back to the Steelers in 2018 as a marquee guy and be treated like dust. Imagine, he was traded from our team to go to the Patriots, almost played in the Super Bowl that year. So imagine you got your core being players, Steeler marquee players that, you know what I mean? That you see him being treated like, or got an attitude that's just against the culture, you know what I mean? It wasn't countrified of just winning championships and like, the Steeler Nation know what that's like, you know what I mean? We got the standard is standard, players against each other. You've seen the tradition of the Steelers.
You think that's a tradition? Hitting the players against each other, is that what you think?
Of course, look at their receivers right now. Oh, it starting to make sense, Mr. Whitlock. You starting to think about this, right? Give me a scenario, you watch.
Well, you're saying that part of the Steelers' culture is to pit the players against each other. They would say is create competition.
2 dogs, 1 bone. Yes, create competition. But is really a competition, Jason, with Mr. Whitlock? If they drive you 3rd round and they drive me 6th round, what is the competition? They already told us what's the competition by where they drafted you, right?
To some degree, but you outplayed your draft position.
Of course, but that don't really happen all the time. Right or wrong?
Where do you think that theory or mindset comes from of, hey, let's pit the players against each other?
I mean, ask Emmanuel Sanders. When I was there as a rookie, they put me and Emmanuel Sanders against each other. I mean, it's good competition, but what's the competition if you already drafted a guy ahead of the other guy?
You don't think they do the same thing? Bill Belichick didn't do the same thing?
Nah, Bill Belichick built up his guys. He makes sure all the guys prepare. He makes sure you know who you facing and what your role is regarding what he's expecting out of you, not what you... We on the same team, so yeah, we could compete against each other and make each other better, but hey, we gotta go out here together and try, you know what I mean? It's better to promote togetherness if you wanna have a winning culture.
Bruce Arians, Tampa, what was the culture like there?
I mean, when we first got there, it was just winning Super Bowl. That was everybody's goal in 2020. You know what I mean?
But you have this brief moment with Belichick, you liked what you saw there.
Loved it. Most prepared, everything.
And then you and Tom Brady connect.
Yes. 2019, we make a plan for 2020. I told you I played there that one game, met him, had all the tangibles. It's a match made in heaven. Amazing receiver, quarterback. We get on the same page. You knew the adversity we was facing to get off the field. We make a plan, write it down on paper. What are we going to do to come back and win the Super Bowl?
And so when you say y'all work together or put a plan together, this is off the field in your private time?
Off the field, in your private time, making the list. We're going to get you an agent. We're going to work out. You know what I mean? That's going to be just make it a good plan.
So, and you think Tom was a driving force behind helping you put a plan together for y'all to reunite.
Yes.
So you knew, perhaps before anybody else, that he's leaving New England.
Sure.
He's going to go do something. You knew that before.
Yes.
He told you that.
I mean, he didn't tell me, but it was evidently, you remember that year, 2019, I think they went to the playoffs. He had no receivers. I feel like
he was frustrated by that.
He was frustrated. He never had no one to really work with or help him out to win. And we made that plan, and by the grace of God, man, we accomplished it in 2020, coming back to the Tampa Bay Bucks. Yeah.
So why did it end so ugly in Tampa?
I mean, we won the Super Bowl, and then it was the following year, next year, I feel like, the team was going another direction in regards of what their goals was at that time.
What? Tom Brady's still there. You're still there. Why would they change directions?
I mean, change, organization, culture change, things change every year. Every year, everyone's not going to have that same drive they had last year. It's hard to, win Super Bowl back-to-back. It takes a lot of intangibles and focus. A lot of people, a bunch of men, a bunch of organization, a bunch of people. So I feel like the intangibles just wasn't there in 2021, and you can see how the team deteriorated at the end.
Do you think Tom had the same frustrations as you?
I think so.
What happened? This was always written in the back. I got to make sure I ask about this. The fake vaccine card. Is that a true story?
That was one of those things where, I realized the NFL they wasn't just on my side. Imagine it's 2021, it's week 7. I just got injured. I just tore my deltoid ligament in my ankle. I can't even play. I can't even play, but as you know, when you're a 5-year veteran or more on the roster, you make the roster day one, they still got to pay you. You got to think, Mr. Whitlock, I signed a deal where it was $2 million guaranteed up front, $1 million salary, $1 million if I dress and play every game, and then it was a $2 million bonus, depending on what I did as far as my stats. So it's like, here I come a year after helping the team win the Super Bowl, where I played 8 games and probably led their team in catches and yards from that span of when I started playing, till I get a, prove it again deal. When I just played for $1 million, pretty much for 8 games, the lowest I ever played for, just like, it don't even matter, man. I just want the opportunity to do what I love. You know what I mean? So I come back thinking I did prove myself, helping the team get to the Super Bowl. Games that players got hurt where I had to start the game, and win the game for us in Atlanta for us to go to the playoffs. I was showing up in those moments. So now we come 2021, I get a don't believe in you deal. The NFL, when they give you these type of deals, it's like they're not setting you up for success. You know what I mean? So now I'm hurt, and they still got to pay me. And what is the best way the NFL could find out not to pay you while you hurt? Oh, let's see if it's COVID card fake. They find out it's real. They never go back to fix the narrative. You know what I mean? Now I'm hurt anyway. I can't even play. So it's like, I'm hurt anyway, but look how God worked. I come back versus the we play against the Panthers, Carolina Panthers. One of the receivers tear their whole ACL, number 14. Chris Godwin tear his whole ACL. Mike Evans pull his hamstring. And I think Leonard Fournette hurt his hamstring too, right? So now I'm coming back, off injury, not even off a fake suspension where they made up to ruin my reputation, and that's why I have to go back to the media. The media control the perception how fans look at you. Now they said AB had a chef some girl texted a chef and just said AB. And now I'm investigated because of he say, she say of a girl texting a chef that ain't even my chef no more. So now I'm being scrutinized in the media for a guy who don't even work with me, who has been fired. Now I'm being scrutinized, wrong look that, now my character is being shredded because now it look like Tampa Bay's got AB out there with a fake car. Now that's the hedger over the team. You know what I mean? So now I got to deal with that scrutiny, let that blow over. Why I'm hurt, come back. All these players get hurt. Now I'm there to help save the team versus Carolina. Can you pull up the stats, what I do when I come back in 2021 versus Carolina? I go for 100 yards. I realize Tom Brady don't want to throw me the ball. While I'm suspended, he's invited me to his house. Like, yo, they telling me come to the facility while I'm suspended for a made-up card, which is jokes, and I'm not getting paid. So why would I come around these guys not getting paid and my face is already made horrible? You see what I'm saying? Then
you just said Tom Brady didn't want to throw you the ball. Did I hear that right?
When I came back versus Carolina, he did throw me the ball at 100 yards.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, in the red zone, we have a one-on-one. I'm a receiver that get the, like, if me and you in the red zone, I'm looking at the quarterback, you one-on-one, you don't think I should have an expectation to know I should be able to get that ball in a check situation? But I understood that in 2021. It was like, it wasn't about me being great anymore or putting myself back to, you know, what I couldn't be as what I can be as a football player. And I feel like that's when you realize the organization is not at my best interest. The team of players not at my best interest. Now I got to do what's right for myself. That's why you see me walk off the field doing the Jets game, because that's the trauma. Imagine, you know what I'm saying, you got a guy like Tom Brady brought me here to believe in me. None of these guys never believed in me here. I'm here building a script to Tom. Now I feel like, damn, Tom don't even believe in me. Because now we're not on the same page in regards of what do you think I need to do for what's benefiting the team, and I feel like I need to do what's benefiting myself now because the team is not doing what's right for me. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much for joining me today. It's an opportunity to talk with you all about one of our great sponsors that is more than just a great sponsor. Cardio Miracle is one of the greatest supplements I've ever taken in my life. And it's not just me. I have provided Cardio Miracle to friends and family members and coworkers, and everybody has a great story about Cardio Miracle. Cardio Miracle is a way for you to elevate your nitric oxide levels. It promotes good artery health. It stimulates great blood flow. It helps you sustain a healthy nitric oxide level. That is the key to feeling like you're 25 years old again. Guys, if you're having problems with your best friend or ED, this will help. If you're having problems with your blood pressure, it will help. If you're having problems with virtually anything, I've got stories from friends and coworkers about any issue they've been having. Cardio Miracle, my mother swears by it. My mother's doctors swear by it. I swear by it. There's nothing you can do to help promote health and a healthy you and a younger you than Cardio Miracle. It comes with a Fearless Army friendly 60-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Try it today and you will never feel this good from a drink this easy to take. There are no synthetic ingredients, no GMO, no sugar, no stimulants, minimal calories, and uses the finest natural organic flavors. It's like a smooth raspberry lemonade Kool-Aid. I love it. You will too. In fact, I just drank some right before we came on this show. This isn't just another supplement. It's a serious game changer. Go to my personal link, cardiomiracle.com/fearless. Use promo code fearless to get 10% off your first order, or you can subscribe and save 15% off with free shipping. That's cardiomiracle.com/fearless. So clear this up for me. Did you take the vaccine or not?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Why?
I feel like, you know, like in the NFL at that point, we had to. I did the Pfizer shot. I did it on video too.
And it was the vaccine, not water or not?
I was vaccine. I did it. Yeah.
And so why did they say you faked the vaccine? Or
it was a lot of narratives that, you know, the media created. You know, I feel like if you look at what I just explained to you, what I've been able to do from moves I made in the NFL, you know, while I was suspended, they still got to pay you. It was like they found something to try to change the narrative that, you know what I mean? Make a perception about me that wasn't reality. And that was just one of those things that I had to deal with in the media with that negativity. You know what I mean? Because imagine you done all the right things and you out there trying to be your best self and provide a life for you and your family. That's all I was doing out there, was trying to help the team be great. And now I'm hurt and I can't provide service, and now it's like a dark cloud over me about something wrong with a card. Then I proved them of my card in the shot, and they still never changed the narrative. You know what I mean? It's like they just left that out there and it just breezed away.
So it's all, you didn't fake a vaccine card.
Didn't fake a card.
And you took the shot.
I had the shot, yep.
And you think the NFL knows this?
Of course they knew, but they already had put out, it was an investigation. So he's under investigation for a COVID card, but that's all they said. They never correct the narrative like, yo, it was true. But that's the part of journalism. They never tell the story when they was wrong. You know what I mean? They never say, oh, that was my mistake. My perception wasn't reality. I had the wrong perception. You know, the media don't have no code of ethics that's showing, you know what I'm saying, they was wrong. You know, you ever wrote a bad article about someone where you felt that you was wrong about their perception?
Yes, and I've corrected that.
Yeah, but most time people don't get a chance to correct it, especially a business like the NFL. It's just, I was left to deal with that trauma of, now when I go out, people like, damn, this guy got, you know what I mean? This guy trying to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would want the perception, though. I want to make clear to anybody watching, I did not take the vaccine. Please, I did not. I totally support Aaron Rodgers, Kyrie Irving. I wish none of y'all had taken the vaccine.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do to work, man. That was the only way you could have played in the NFL to be able to work if you got the vaccine. So either you was going to pull a Kyrie Irving or go to work.
Do you think any players did fake the vaccine?
I'm not here to, I feel like...
I'm not going to snitch.
I feel like we are to each his own. You know what I mean? I know I did what I had to do the right way, because that's the last thing I would have wanted. You know what I'm saying? You trying to go out and do something for yourself and be great, and now, you know what I mean? They're scrutinizing you for, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I like to play by the rules.
So I want to go back to, did you actually live with Tom Brady at any point? Or is that?
Nah, I feel like I was staying at his house, but I always had my own spot. You know what I mean? I feel like Tom was really into changing the narrative of, like, I feel like I had so much public scrutiny of negativity on my name. I think he was kind of trying to spin some of the speculation, like, yo, AB's at my house. You know what I mean? I think that kind of made people feel to the sense where it's like, well, if he had Tom Brady's house, he's not a bad guy. Because I feel like my rep in the media just had got so bad with the public scrutiny and the perception of how it make fans think about me. You know, I feel like Tom wanted to change that narrative in regards of, but it's like, yo, I had my own crib always, I got a few cribs in Tampa. At that point, I was renting a crib out as well. So, I was coming to his house and getting treatments with his trainer and being around him. Yeah, being around him and just, being in brotherhood and showing him I'm there and committed, earning his trust. But, I got my own house, you know what I mean? I got my own kids. I got my own family. I'm not staying with no grown man,
So that does sound like, though, like Tom was trying to help you in any way that he could.
He was putting me in a position to help all of us. You know what I mean? I'm on the football team because that helped him. Obviously, me being there, he allowed me to be there to do what I love, helps me. So that's what friends are for, you know what I mean? Friends, good friends are there for people in regards of helping each other. I feel like we was doing the best thing to help each other win at that point in regards of our goals of winning the Super Bowl.
Would you consider him maybe the best teammate you ever had, or?
Yeah, I feel like he is. I mean, anytime someone could take the approach to see you going through adversity, I feel like a friend is someone who's there in your darkest time. I feel like in 2019 when I got released from the Patriots, that was the darkest time, you know what I mean? Because it's like your career have been taken away from you by he say, she say, and it's like now you got to deal with that, like how the perception of that, you know what I mean? And I feel like in that time, you see a lot of people don't believe in you. They'll change. Your agent, a guy you've been paying, they'll change, you know what I mean? Your family, even my dad was like, you know what I mean? Was people become worried, and when people see your circumstance, imagine you work so hard to do something as a kid and you feel like it's about to change. You see other people change around you. So at that time, for me and him to make a plan in the midst of all that negativity and to really see to the plan, I will forever grateful for that, and always admirable about his friendship and what he did in that regards, to taking toe towards me and really making that plan and making it happen. That was amazing.
So why, I want to ask this as positively as I can, but you're from Central Michigan, Ben Roethlisberger from Miami of Ohio. You guys are putting up Joe Montana, Jerry Rice type numbers in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Why isn't Ben Roethlisberger the best teammate you ever had? What happened there?
I feel like Ben Roethlisberger was I wouldn't say he was not my best teammate, but I feel like Ben Roethlisberger is like the best quarterback I ever played with. You know what I'm saying? Like, far as the skill level and the skill set and the tangibles of what we was able to do. Like, sometimes I did some stuff and Ben just like, he already knew what I was gonna do, or he just throw the ball and laugh because he knew. I wouldn't say Ben is one of my best teammates, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the quarterbacks and one of the teammates, I had the most fun in being able to have the most success of becoming who I was because of him. So I wouldn't say I would say as a teammate on the football field, yeah. Me and Ben, whatever we was able to do on the field was amazing, but that was just something we just, two talented people in the field around each other just come together and being able to do something special, which was amazing. But, what I did with Tom Brady through adversity, through a career of, in the midst of so much adversity, being cut, and having it all over the public news. Bill Belichick having the press conference and all the media people asking him about AB over and over. So, in that scenario, in that situation where I just came from Oakland Raiders, where there was so much scrutiny over that and so much, it was just stuff starting to spiral. And I feel like as a teammate, it's good to be on the field, but your real teammates is the guys that help you off the field, because life off the field is longer than life on the field. You're going to live your life longer off the field, and your life off the field usually shape your life on the field. So
y'all didn't have a connection off the field?
Of course we had a connection, bro. Well, me and Ben Roethlisberger had a amount of connection, man.
Off the field?
Yeah, when I was a rookie, man, we had Big Ben house, playing basketball, cookouts in the pool. He used to have the thing that came across the tree. The workouts in Georgia University in the summertime. The Steelers fashion show. Ben
went through his own off the field.
Yeah, Ben had a lot of adversity, so I feel like when he came back in 2010, I feel like he was suspended that year for some stuff he did out the field. So I feel like he was a great teammate, and we did have a lot of moments that, I could speak highly about, and a lot of the good times, Training camps, the Steelers, smoking cigars at the top of campus before workout. Me and Ben, we had a lot of Pro Bowl, Honolulu.
Did maybe the controversy that he went through force him to change up a little bit?
And Ben experienced what it felt like when a marquee athlete just be tarnished by the media. You know what I mean? So I feel like the tarnishing of Ben, the tarnishing that he experienced from the scrutiny of the media, it just had him just, not as open with players. But obviously I was one of those players that was able to get open with him. It was able to, come to his house or, have that fellowship with him, fly on his private jet with him. You know what I mean? We had those experiences, Me and Big Ben, I think we had a lot of amazing things we've done together and a lot of experience we experienced, in his Georgia house, riding the speedboats. You know what I mean? Premeditating big years. It always was a fun time and amazing time playing with Ben, and I feel like, man, we had a lot more moments that people realize. And my last conversation before I left the Steelers was with Big Ben. People don't know that.
About You just him telling him, or?
Nah, I didn't. I was telling him like I was frustrated, but he was really on some like, AB, man, people don't really hate you. He was telling me like, don't focus on the small 5% of the media people trying to take you down. Like, he was kind of giving me some big brother knowledge in regards of what he had to go through and how he had to reshape himself from the scrutiny he had to deal with. But I feel like at that time of me being more vulnerable in the time where I should have maybe opened up and expressed more, I feel like I was already torn between like how I was going there and what direction we was going in as far as winning. So I kind of made decisions for myself, but Big Ben was always a bright spot for me at the Steelers and was, you know what I mean, somebody that always uplifted me and, you know what I mean, was there for me as a big brother.
And I know I've kind of touched on this already to some degree, but Mike Tomlin, what's your relationship with Mike like? Or was it
Mike Tomlin was like always man, that dude was like my pops, to be honest. Ever since I met Mike Tomlin, like I always knew like I'll have success, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like when I went to the Steelers, Mike Tomlin was, once I saw him and talked with him, I knew I was going to the Steelers. Like Mike Tomlin was that, you know what I mean, that father figure for me, like outside of coach. Obviously as a coach, in the minutia as a coach, he was always challenging me at the utmost to make sure I was better, but he was that guy who was always there for me mentally. And he was a guy who always used to try to talk to me about things even when I didn't understand them. Like, AB, man, I think you need to think about the way you celebrate these touchdowns because you put it, you know what I mean, you're going to another level of your career, and like I didn't understand what it meant sometimes when he tell me stuff like that, but you know, that guy Mike Tomlin always had my back, always believed in me. So I'm always, you feel me, indebted to Mike Tomlin. Like, he was one of those guys that stood in the foxhole for me, and that meant a lot to me.
So I know you were only there for a brief time, but I'm a big John Gruden guy, and I think he got a raw deal, you know, about the email and all that other stuff. Yeah. But walk us through when you called Mike Mayock a cracker. Is it the way you say cracker on Twitter, or is it more upset when you call Mike Mayock a cracker?
Nah, it's an entertainment part of being a cracker of the day, of the day. You know what I'm saying? And being in the football field, you could express these type of words, but not in a negative connotation. Let's get this clear. John Gruden and Mike Mayock, they believed in me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't want to make it seem like I disrespect these guys. I got the utmost respect for Mike Mayock and John Gruden because these was the people in my NFL career that believed in AB. They gave me the big contracts, the guarantees that say, you know what, we stand by his talent. Usually the NFL, you usually come in with, they paying you because they don't recognize your talent. And then they eventually recognize your talents, then you don't get your value. So let's, you know, for the most part, let's say that I respect Mike Mayock and John Gruden for not only believing in me, but in the football field, it's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't say I called them like a negative connotation out of aggression or to belittle them. I feel like it was entertainment. You know what I mean? Like, yo, look at this cracker. Cracker of the day. You know what I mean?
How did he take it when you said that?
I mean, Mike Mayock is an old safety. He's an ex-NFL player. I mean, he get how players talk in the field. He understand that
it's like the Netflix roast with Tom Brady.
Exactly. You see how much negative stuff they were saying? It's entertaining. It's fun. He know I love him, and he brought me there to do something special. And I'm the most player he believed in. The contract he gave me showed the value they got in me. He just know I'm just bringing the entertainment to the field to make people be excited. That was my role as the Raider, to be a leader, to be excited, to bring that juice and that energy to try to change the culture so we could try to win.
So the hot air balloon coming to training camp, that was about changing the culture?
That was energy. We just was doing Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks actually set that up. It wasn't my thing that I said, hey, you know what, I'm going to just come in a hot air balloon. Hard Knocks was shooting, NFL Hard Knocks was shooting, and they know we was in Napa Valley. Napa Valley, you know what I mean? That's what they got, hot air balloons. They're like, AB, we'll pay for this. We just need to get some content in regards of I'm scared of hot air balloons, to be honest. My friend Dante,
I am a hot air balloon, but go ahead.
Hey, you made yourself the other day talking about you a hot air balloon. That's some shit right there. You nigga of the day with some shit like that.
You know I hate that word, but go ahead.
But Dante Stallworth, actually, one of my friends who used to play in the NFL, he actually blew up on a hot air balloon in Miami. You know that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he actually, like, the hot air balloon got stuck and, like, it was a really emergency, So
you're telling me what you didn't say, hey, I'm coming to training camp on a hot air balloon.
Why would
the producers of Hard Knocks said,
yes,
hey, you should come on a hot air.
Look, Napa Valley, you don't even have to come there. We already there. Napa Valley, I was already there. You know, the hot air balloon, they light it up in Napa Valley. It's like something they do already there. So I feel like that was just for the NFL where Hard Knocks were trying to sell the excitement of the story.
And so it didn't cross your mind like, maybe I shouldn't.
I mean, I'm trying to promote the Raiders and the entertainment for the team and the culture. So whatever that entails for the best situation for the team, I'm with it. But it's not like I'm saying, yo, I'm gonna pay for the hot air balloon. Like, that's why I feel like the media need to understand the perception and reality of the situation and what's the facts.
I almost forgot too, at the beginning of that Raiders deal, you wanted your own special helmet.
Yo, no, listen, I've been wearing my helmet since college, 12 some years in the NFL. You know what I mean? All of a sudden they created a new helmet rule saying you gotta wear bigger helmets because they stop concussion. You and I know this not stopping no concussion, no matter what you wear. And I feel like the players' equipment always was amongst the players, right? If you don't wanna wear socks, you don't wanna wear pads, you could do what you want. You could take the equipment file. All of a sudden they care about concussions. No matter what helmet you wear, you get hit hard enough, you're gonna be concussed. So they made a big deal about my helmet and equipment. I mean, that stuff is not even a part of winning. I think they made a huge deal about that. And that's what got me to the Patriots.
I know, but I'm just walking through this brief time in Oakland, hot air balloon, dispute over the helmet. How'd you get, your feet got frostbitten? I can't remember.
I mean, listen, that's life. Life, we all have stuff happen. We can't control what happens.
What happened?
Well, which scenario? The feet?
Yeah.
I was in Paris, man. I was training hard at this soccer facility, rugby.
In Paris?
In Paris, yeah. And then I was going to the ice cryotherapy. You know how you get the quick ice? I was going for the recovery, and I went without no slippers. And next thing you know, my feet got hot. It was all blistered up. But that was like July 14, 10. Before I went to training camp, I was good. I had got new skin. I had the dead skin, had to go away and it had to come. But adversity is all a part of life. I think the media misconstrue how I handled adversity and how their perception is of me in the midst of adversity, because the way they portray it is I may be a guy that's seeking attention or trying to do something extra for the wrong purpose. And it's not like that. You know what I mean? That's why these shows and sitting down with people like you so we can address the truth and acknowledge the truth so people can acknowledge who I am and what's the existence of public media. You know, the Hard Knocks stuff with the hot air balloon, that was all on HBO and NFL promotion of what they wanted me to do. It cost $3,000 to fly a hot air balloon. You think I could pay $3,000 to do some way better stuff. So that was through HBO and Hard Knocks. They set that up. The helmet deal, hey, I've been wearing this helmet for 12 years. I was trying to just wear what I was comfortable in. I don't have no be combative with. I eventually end up wearing the helmet they wanted me to wear, but I'm like, hey, why can I not be comfortable and wear what I had success in? You've been a football player. How important is your equipment? You probably had the same pads you used to wear from college, right?
Yeah, probably, but I can't remember.
Of course, because that's a part of being a player. You're comfortable with what you're used to doing, right? You used to probably wear the same socks or the same shoe. Tell me some stuff that you got. What they call it? What they call that? You got some, like you got a habit or something. Like
good luck piece?
No,
or,
what do they call that word? Superstitious. Yeah. Superstitious.
Yeah.
Do you wear the same? You know what I mean? Like, my helmet is a part of my success. When I'm running 21 miles an hour and I gotta look over my shoulder with pads on, that's a part of my production, of how I play. I'm not trying to belittle people because I want to wear this helmet.
Okay,
Because
I got it, AB, but could you not say that at this time, again,
Yeah.
this is 2018-19 or whatever.
19.
2019.
yeah.
You're on track to be this generation's Jerry Rice.
But sometimes you can't lose yourself to be what.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Did you lose yourself? Did you?
No, I'm all.
You're getting the most attention of anybody in the NFL.
Yeah, because
you're on track to be Jerry Rice.
Yes.
Could you not just be feeling yourself a little bit like hot air balloon? Give me my helmet. I'm over here in Paris. Did you take a swing at Mike Mayock? There's some people that say you
swung at him. That's false narratives.
It didn't happen.
Never. Me and Mike Mayock had an interaction in the field with us being us, our relationship of how we talk and how we kick it. I'm not just running out there calling people regular names because I don't know them. Mike Mayock is the general manager of the team. He brought me to the team from the Steelers. We have a good relationship. We could communicate and use words that people might not know or be receptive to. That's our relationship. We're in the football field, football setting. I feel like sometimes when people see what you go through and what's happening of the media creating a persona or the perspective, they're not seeing what like the athlete is actually trying to do. It's hard to be great when you're leaving the team that was supposedly where you come from. Now you're trying to go to a new team to develop something else. Then you got scrutiny from the media of all kind of things that's being written. You got a guy named Jess Washington writing stuff about my kids and my kids' mothers. And this all come when you having success. When you having success in the NFL and you a black player, they're going to scrutinize you. They're going to bring out everything they can.
They're going to scrutinize the white player.
I mean, tell me which white player got scrutinized to the
Ben
point.
Roethlisberger. We just got done talking about it.
Roethlisberger had 2 rape cases that really was a, you know what I'm saying, like a scenario.
Allegations.
It was.
They're allegations, not
The woman called the police, right? It was
allegations, yeah.
But it was 2 preeminent cases.
Yes.
But I feel like even with those cases, he didn't get scrutinized like all over when he came back. Matter of fact, let's put it like this. Ben Roethlisberger got suspended how many games after all this?
6, I thought.
No, he got 4 games, I think. 2010.
6 and
look
then
it up.
reduced
Look it
to
up.
4. I think
okay, so it was 4 games.
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger got suspended 4 games for 2 rape cases. What else public scrutiny he got? Like, you know what I mean? This brought that case. Antonio Brown was getting scrutiny in 2011 when he started like going for 1,100 yards. Now it was all of a sudden, I had my kid living with me since 2011 in Pittsburgh. The whole organization know my son Antonio Brown Jr. live with me. Right when we go to the playoffs, you can look it up. The first public scrutiny was about, oh yeah, my baby mama drama with his kid. But that's normal. You know, you in the media, you know black players is scrutinized more than white players, right?
Scrutinize more, or do we do more?
I mean, I know your fans are the white people. I mean,
No.
Being real.
I get you. That's your perspective, but that's not true.
So why is it not true?
Because I just stick to the facts.
So let me hear the facts. Why is it not true? Michael Vick had a case. Was Michael Vick scrutinized more than Ben Roethlisberger, or Roethlisberger was scrutinized more?
2 different situations.
Who get more scrutiny?
Man, that's tough. That's hard to judge.
Any white guys ever get their baby moms talked about? You know Tom got a baby mom.
Yeah.
Does he get baby mom drama about his child support or what he paying? Or?
Well, here's what I would say. A lot of times, and again, what's the mama doing? Because the mama controls a lot of conversation. If she's out here talking on social media.
Is black players get more scrutiny than white players. It's a takedown in the media against black players constantly. It's no takedown on a white player. It's no white media that's taking down white players. It's black media that take down black players. It's the shade room. It's all these scenarios that make black people look out of the character. So it's a media perception of them. So when I go to try to meet people, they think I'm a lot crazier or a lot more aggressive, a lot more combative than what it is because the media perception. Because that's a perception that's not reality, that's created by the media. Who are media? It's white media, right?
There's a lot of blacks in media now.
I know, but who is media ran by?
Oh, well. Now you really want to open up a
I'm
can.
asking.
Well, I don't want to go there today.
I want to go there today. We gotta go there. That's what I'm saying. We could be able to talk truths and realities. That's where I get back to my point of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is a feminine girl who's hot. Angel Reese is a feminine girl that's hot. But who is the media putting more news behind? Who is the media putting more scrutiny behind?
Okay, hold for a second. That's a
I'm
good, no, let me answer. So you do realize Caitlin Clark is the far better player.
Why she's the better player? Because she's the most. I'm asking you.
Two-time national champion, led the country in scoring
She
and
never won a
assists.
champion. That's individual. You're not a champion. It's a difference between Angel Reese.
Carried a team that's not that talented.
Yeah,
back-to-back
but Angel Reese is
championship games.
6'3". She get buckets in the paint. She's a bigger girl. And
Who would you rather watch play?
It depends what you like. If you like a hot 6'1" red-skinned girl from Baltimore who looks good, who dominate the paint and make free throws, who get buckets. If you want an explosive, like shooting guard, explosive Caitlin Clark, it's two different things. It depends on what you like. But there's a lot of excitement with Angel Reese.
I'm gonna give you an example. It's like, who would you rather watch? AB or Steve Largent?
That's a bad comparable now. You're going too crazy.
I'd rather watch AB, more exciting. It's like Steve Largent put up numbers.
First off, it's women's basketball.
I got you.
Angel Reese is hot, first off, and she's tall. I mean, Lana, no, she's a baddie. Baddie alert.
Disputing that.
Baddie alert. Caitlin Clark is a baddie too, but like she ain't really a flashy baddie. Like
I got it, but in terms of basketball,
no.
The one girl's making put-back layups.
She's
underneath the rim.
She's a 6'2", 3 girl. She's in the paint. What you want her to do?
That's not as exciting, AB.
You want to see 5'9" Caitlin Clark shoot the gym out?
You're comparing. It's like, who would you rather watch, AB, or I don't know if you remember, this may be dating, but I'm just thinking of a blocking tight end.
Do you want to eat
Jason
Ruth
Dunn.
Chris or you want to eat McDonald's?
I want to eat. Well, you're asking the wrong person. I'll do both. Give a choice.
He's the other day. He eat everything. That's real shit. He's eating everything. But no, listen. But that go back to the story. The media. It's a trajectory on black players that's being great.
Did we not bring any of it on ourselves?
How we bring it on ourselves?
We show up to training camp in a hot air balloon.
That the team paid for. The team is running marketing for the Oakland Raiders. They running marketing and PR. They on Hard Knocks. You know what Hard Knocks does? It sell the team and make the team exciting. It get ratings. It get viewers. It build fans. I'm not paying for the hot air balloon. This is their setup to build a team. So this is what I think. Black media are taking down their black players because why? It's a sense of jealous once a black player become preeminent, meaning being great, because now when you be great, you're separating yourself from other black athletes and other black people who may have not gotten that chance to be great. So you're susceptible to media.
Susceptible, yeah.
You like how I used that word, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. You susceptible or susceptible to media targeting you or coming after you with negativity. Why? Because you're doing something great. That's why we created CT ESPN, so we could talk to athletes that are doing something great, how they're handling these medias, how they're handling these traumas when people writing about you in the wrong way, scrutinize you in the wrong way. Because let's say you're comparing a championship college girl to an individual statistic college girl who amazing. They both are amazing. Who are you taking these days? You taking an individual statistic or you taking champions? Because I know Angel Reese had a game, it wasn't on TV. It wasn't broadcasted. Caitlin Clark had a game, it was broadcasted. So what does that show you right there? Divinity, right? That showed differentiationship. What's the difference between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese? There's no difference. They're both two hot women who great in basketball. They should get the same exposure. They should get the same opportunities to put the game on a higher platform and get that same look for each other. But what I'm seeing in basketball...
Who played tight end for the Steelers when you were there? Who was?
Don't matter.
No, I'm just asking.
What I'm seeing with the basketball is it's a black media. It's a takedown on black people being great in the media and white people getting a chance to be great. Just like it's Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger. They never had people talking about their personal families or their personal dramas or them getting sued. I'm sure they're getting sued. I'm sure they were sued before, but you never heard it talk about it. You never heard of Ben Roethlisberger settle out for $11 million or he keep getting dragged about it. You don't never see people write articles to talk about it. You know, why was that?
Ben was dragged pretty hard. I'm asking you, why is that? We're not gonna run from that. We're not gonna. But I'm just going. I just want to Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, because there's
why
a lot.
Why is Angel Reese not getting her game on TV, and she's a champion?
You remember
why
Heath
is she not
Miller?
getting that opportunity? Of course I know.
You know how much more of exciting of a player you were than Heath Miller?
Heath Miller was a dog. He was exciting.
Was he as exciting as you?
No, but listen.
Not even close.
We can't beat players down.
I'm not beating him down.
Based on their excitement. Every player, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, is at the same level coming into WNBA. Fresh sheets. No matter what you did in college, that's over. You going to the next level, it's to be determined. They should be on even playing field in regards to how they get exposed and how they get portrayed in the media. But that's what I'm saying. Go back to the media. Media pick and choose who they target and who they promote. That's why Caitlin Clark is getting the televised game. Angel Reese getting no televised game. That's why when Angel Reese had a press conference, a little bit of people came. When Caitlin Clark had a press conference, why is that? Because the media are always going to portray the people who they want to be the stars, and they're going to leave the black people who being stars to feel low. That's reality.
So all the attention AB got, because at one time,
know why AB was getting attention? Because he was being great. If I wasn't being great or doing something that was astoundingly great, I wouldn't be able to get
You don't think
attention.
Caitlin Clark is being great?
She's being great, accomplishing stats for herself. She never won the championship. That's real.
Basically had back-to-back Super Bowl appearances. This is like you sitting here
Don't
saying...
matter.
Don't give
Mr.
Thurman
Whitlock,
Thomas.
Mr.
Don't give Thurman
Whitlock,
Thomas
you know
no credit.
what people like in
Don't
sports. People love Tom Brady. Why? Because he's a champion. He's a winner.
Do you like Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, Bruce Smith?
Those
Jim
guys
Kelly?
was good guys. They did good in Buffalo.
They're all in the Hall of Fame.
Of course. But you got to be
4
champion.
straight Super Bowl appearances.
That don't mean nothing. Angel Reese is a champion. Champions should get respect for more than people who's not winning. You know about some championship basketball players who never won?
Championship players.
Or receivers or anybody who never won.
Like Charles Barkley didn't win a NBA title.
So he can't get in those Super Bowl winning in rooms that Angel Reese should get in. So I feel like as a champion and as a black athlete, we need to get more exposure. We need to talk about this. Cause imagine the trauma that Angel Reese is feeling when she feeling like, dang, why? That is trauma.
She made millions at LSU.
Don't matter what you make. You think money?
She's super popular right now.
You think money determine how you feel or your well-being? You think money make your well-being?
No, but I also don't think more adulation, more TV camera makes.
No, listen. As a human being, it's trauma when you see someone else being treated better than you, when you done as the same or more great things than that person. As a human being, when you're seeing you're being treated negligent than someone else and you doing the same thing, that is trauma. That is trauma.
I guess
Imagine how Andrew Reed feels. She come from LSU, these big programs, and done so much and worked so hard to put her face out there to be a champion, and she go to the game, it's not even put on TV because they're showing Caitlin Clark game. You don't think that's a slap in the face to her to make it seem like she's better than her? Because that's what the media does when they do stuff like that. That's pretty much telling her as a woman, as a human, you're not good enough. This person is better than you. That's why we showed that. That's trauma. Dealing with those type of things where people is making you feel like you're not worthy. Like when I drop a ball, I get anxiety. Like my ball starts sweating, my hands start sweating. I get real nervous because like my mama always say like, that's like her bill money. When the ball come, that's me to, you feel me? I gotta pay my mama bill when I get it. So when I drop it, I get anxiety. Like, you don't think that could cause anxiety? A girl like Angel Reese seeing Caitlin Clark get it?
If that's the way she's wired.
But that's what I mean. See, the media go back to black people supposed to be more tougher than them. You supposed to just be able to handle that scrutiny, right? If that's how she wired. This is a human being. It no wired. This natural feeling. If you walk in the building.
There's never been a white person who isn't.
I'm asking you in media, tell me.
There's never been a white person, a white wide receiver, who didn't get as much attention as AB or as much attention as Calvin Johnson or whatever. There's never been a white wide receiver that sits in his, man, I should be getting more attention. I should be celebrated the way so-and-so else is. I mean, because
they don't have to worry about that, Mr. Whitlock. You know that white people not getting scrutinized in the media. Who? Aaron Rodgers just went in front of the whole world, lied to the world about his COVID card.
You think he didn't get scrutiny?
He still played the game. He didn't get fined. What scrutiny he got? He still did what he needed to do. AB COVID card was supposedly fake. No one cleared the narrative. Aaron Rodgers lied, bro. You supposed to get suspended. You lied on the court of public speaking to the NFL media. Hey, man, I had my COVID. They found out he never had nothing. Did something happen to him? No.
He got a lot of heat from the media. A lot of people in the media don't like him.
No, listen, Aaron Rodgers cheated the whole system.
How?
If you lie on the COVID card, bro, that's...
He didn't lie on the COVID card.
If you lie on the COVID card, that's susceptible to a federal offense, right? Was that not a rule? Pull it up on Google since you guys don't know. Let's pull up the facts. Pull up the facts. If you lied to a public court of your COVID card, is that not a...
He didn't lie. He
did lie. He said he had it and it didn't. That's a lie, or no?
He said he was immunized or something.
So that's a lie. That's a lie. He said it was immunized. Whatever lie he told, he lied.
He lied to the media.
Of course.
He didn't lie to the NFL.
The NFL is the media. You guys work for the NFL. You run the media for the NFL or no?
No, not true.
So when you guys come and meet in media and do all that, you guys don't work for the NFL? The media don't run the NFL business?
No. I mean, you got to understand, there's people...
I understand, man. Everybody can't speak the truth. You represent companies. You can't just, AB independent. I can speak the truth. I don't represent companies. I represent myself and CTE, ESPN Network, and we need to focus on these topics of athletes being able to share their experience. And we need to ask Andrew Reese, cover her games, and see how she feel about being a great champion in college and doing great things and not being treated as other people, because as a human being, that's not fair to see that you work hard and you do all these things and other people get opportunities before you or they get showed off before you. And that's not fair to people as humans to feel like you deserve the same opportunity and you're gonna get the same opportunity, which you don't. And that's why we started these networks, so we could talk to athletes, how they feel, especially black athletes who get this scrutinized, who get this scrutiny, who get this criticism, who get this, media writing a perspective for what they think, and it's always negative. Nobody talk about, the great things I do, on a daily basis, or, the great things black people do on a daily basis. I feel like that's why we need to, have these topics and cover these bases, because it is hard when you're a black athlete and you're doing great things. The media gonna be extra hard on you. They're gonna cover you hard, and they're gonna scrutinize you hard based on that position.
So right now, I don't know, other than if you went back to 2017 and 18, I don't know if there's more positive energy around Antonio Brown than right now. People love your Twitter feed and persona. It's making people laugh, smile. You're doing politically incorrect things, but people love it and are laughing and smiling and like probably AB more right now than at any time. You don't feel that? You don't sense that?
Yeah, I feel that. I feel like I have made some lighthearted people from the platform, which is, Twitter was just showing, different entertaining perspectives and open people, conscious about positive excitement, just being entertaining, giving people something to smile about. Life is hard already in general. I feel like these platforms allow us to, connect with people more and just give them something to be happy about, be excited about, or be smiling about. And
but you're talking to me like you still feel persecuted.
No.
My perception
I'm just saying, I just want to know the truth for what it is. I don't feel nothing. Like I don't feel. I feel free. I feel blessed. I feel healthy. I feel happy. I feel grateful.
You don't feel like people though are just like you putting a smile. People are like looking forward to. Oh, AB's gonna make me laugh today.
Yeah, people looking forward to this. They looking forward to be the day when you say you gonna eat McDonald's and Ruth Chris. This is funny shit. Like you say you the hot air balloon. They looking forward to these type of jokes and excitement. They looking forward to Caitlin Clark. Is it Harry? They looking forward to Shannon Sources. You know, he got dildos in his bags and shit, jumping out the car with his outfit sideways. What's
jokes? I know, but
it's entertainment.
And again, I'm not a big Shannon Sharp defender, but man, you hard on Shannon Sharp, man.
He hard on himself. He taking back shots, front shots. I don't know. What is the deal with Shannon Sharp? Is Shannon Sharp a part of a rainbow? Is he a leprechaun or no, Mr. Whitlock? Is he or is he not? What's your guess?
I've stated my opinion.
Is he a booger or no? Is he a booger or no?
What's a booger?
Like some in your nose you pull out like the closet when it's like super stuck.
Hold on. AB, you just went from the media's super hard on black athletes.
Exactly, because the black people in the media is like you can acknowledge it and say it. So now when a black athlete comes from out the media,
not black.
He's not black?
I'm asking you.
He's Armenian?
No, I'm asking.
He's Puerto Rican?
Black, and you're being incredibly hard on him.
Yeah, because he's a part of the media, just like you, and you guys can't acknowledge or can't even say black players are getting scrutinized harder than white players. Like you just said, no one ever said Tom Brady pay his baby mom $30,000, but they gonna say AB pay his child support baby mom. Why is that? I'm asking you. You in the media. You're a black guy in the media. No one ever once said about a white guy baby mom. Tom Brady got a baby mom. You know that, right?
Yes.
So why no one write article about what he paid child support?
It's perhaps a tiny bit more nuanced in terms of his baby mama keeps a very low profile.
How is a low profile? It don't matter if she keep a low profile. You a media guy that's supposed to be writing about if he's a white athlete. Why my baby mama's always? So you saying my baby mom because they black, they don't keep a low profile?
Are they not tweeting out or on Instagram?
No, but they
Have
wasn't
there not
tweeting out
been public
before?
Accusations again? And again, I don't know who you got.
Not before.
I don't know who you have kids by, but again, there have been
I got
women.
some black ladies, some white ladies. I got a bunch of ladies that bear these children who carry my seeds in the off season. I'm just saying, it's not about the ladies. It's about the scrutiny of the media painting black players into the bad corners, putting their public business out there, creating the wrong perception of the fans. Do you guys realize as media people, when you write your perception about players, it create a persona or perspective to the fans. And it's not reality, it's just your perspective. Like if I just went here and write about you on CTSPN about every negative thing you said about somebody, you got kicked out of ESPN, right? They canceled you?
Jeremy Lin.
Oh yeah. So now matter if I was in the media and I just wrote about everything that you did negative or how you feel to be canceled?
AB, that's what's so odd about this. Long before you were ever canceled, I was canceled.
I never got canceled. I can't be canceled.
Okay, well, I've been canceled. I've faced real media scrutiny.
I wanted to ask you about it. It's not I just want to learn.
Yep.
As a CTE ESPN,
Yep.
I want to learn like because I can't be canceled because how can you gonna cancel me? I already walked out the field, I cancel myself. When you cancel yourself, they can't cancel you because you just double down on the cancel. I just cancel all subscriptions, everything. I double down.
There's 1,000% truth in what you're saying.
But I'm saying, you've been attacked by white media.
And black media.
Let me ask you about that. Because I had to find out, like I had to learn that I need a therapist to jot through how I'm feeling, just to talk, to sort it out. What did you have to deal with when you was canceled by white media?
Jesus Christ.
You had to call God?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm saying like how do you deal with that? Like you went and prayed, you went to the church?
Bible, changing up my friends, moving out of LA.
So what was that scrutiny like? What was that?
Women alone.
So you was lonely. So you had to be by yourself. You had to take some time out to isolate yourself.
Yes.
To find
Change
how
up my
you
habits.
was.
Yes.
Okay, so how was that trauma?
I was at trauma. No, I don't really consider it
Not
trauma.
trauma. It is trauma because you.
In your interpretation, I hear it, but I don't think it is.
Trauma is not a bad thing. Trauma is just like you going through a phase where you're.
I needed to be humbled.
Okay.
Period. End of story.
So what was the trauma like of being humbled?
Cleansing. It's trial by fire, and you just have to come to grips with like who's really.
But I need you to detail that for me because like if people listen to this, if my son would listen to this and he ain't understand like okay, how do you come back to regards of being humble? Like I was so high up, you were so high up.
Yeah, you reach a point where you think your money and your success makes you your own individual God.
Okay.
That's the mistake most people make. And
so what was that like? So that was like, yo, you felt untouchable where like, if you point your finger, anybody gonna move.
I felt like
you felt like you were just
I felt like
out of control.
I felt like I was my ultimate provider. And there's only one provider, and it's God. And so when you start thinking you're the provider and you did this, and that your money and your level of fame is most important, and like I don't really need God. I don't need to, I need him as my savior, but I don't want him as my Lord. I don't want to follow any of his rules. And so I had to realize like, oh, you're going to obey him as your Lord. There will be a price that you will pay for that. And that price is not worth paying. And so it's going to, the level of the multitude of mistakes you will make by not obeying him will place you in a vulnerable position to where when Satan says, you know what, we done had enough of Whitlock, I'm gonna fall. And I did fall very quickly because I had forgotten who my Lord actually was.
So let me know about some of the cognitive behaviors you have beside this. Like,
you're gonna have to define cognitive behavior for me.
So sometimes if you go through a sickness situation, right? You said you was too high up. So if you too high up, that make you feel like, you know what I'm saying, some situations that made you, tell me some situations that made you feel high up, like you was getting a lot of money, you feel me, you was spending a lot of money. What's some situations?
Money. Yeah, I come like you.
So you had big chains like me, like your shit was heavy.
If I
like
wanted,
you had V's? You was buying prostitutes. What you was doing?
If I wanted any and all of that, if I want gambling, I used to go
gambling. You used to go crazy on the craps.
Yes.
How much you used to play? Let's talk some traumas, baby. Let me hear. You putting 20,000 in a row? You was Michael Jordan level?
No. But I'll just say this: if they went and did the homework if you went and did the homework on me and the MGM,
you was putting up movie theaters numbers.
Box
office.
They got more than 7 figures out of me on craps table.
Oh, that's a blessing. That's amazing to learn.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. You had to get some therapy and realize you had to save yourself.
I had to call God.
God is therapy.
I got
us
it.
Back to our surface.
I got it. But most people, I'm not sure if I believe in all this therapy that everyone else do. There's some unshakable truth. I know, but there's some unshakable truth that we all have access to.
God is great too.
Yeah, I get it. That's what I'm saying. That's the unshakable truth that we all have access to. We choose not to access it. And then we go look for other human beings and sit.
But you need to talk to other people that's smarter than you because they give you a good perspective to learn by yourself and they don't got no connection with you.
Smarter is relative.
Smarter because they've seen scenarios, right? They've seen scenarios of people that have been in different phases on how they learn from their trauma. Like I could learn from another football player in regards of how they deal with it, because you're learning from a perspective. It's all a perspective.
Wisdom is what I think we should be in pursuit of, and most of it's found in the Bible, or virtually all of it.
But you need somebody to talk back to you. What if you can't, what if people who
God will talk to you.
Of course, but what if people can't have that intuitive nature to find a connection where they feel like God talking back? Then what would you do?
If they cannot, is that what you said?
Let's say if they're a spiritual person, you wanna confide in God and connect. But you can't find a pastor or a church at home that gonna give you that, what you may have had within yourself naturally to go and find God, because maybe you was built on spiritual principles or how you was raised. But let's say if a person wasn't that spiritual and they was facing some of these things or situations and they was trying to get help, how could they get help? For me, you know, I had to learn that I need a therapist because it's good to talk to people about relationships in your life that maybe the relationship not where I want it right now, but how could I deal with it in a positive light where I don't, you know, ruin it or, you know what I mean? So, and the cognitive behavior is like you see a situation happen and it still play effect on you emotionally. You know what I mean? It's like it could be a trigger or it could be just a situation that's still on your mind, and when you see it happen, it still affect you. Like something like, you know what I mean? Like something that still may bother you a little, or a situation that still, if you play in your mind and make you feel a certain way, it could have you doing cognitive reactions because now it's making you feel a certain way.
Got you. And so what I would say, AB, is that for me, I had to identify, what do I really want in life? And then I started surrounding myself with people who wanted that in their life as well.
Yeah.
And I started looking for people that were having the kind of contentment, peace, purpose that I was looking for. And so I started surrounding myself with, and I found most of them, if not all of them, to be Christians and people that were pursuing a relationship with Jesus Christ.
Nice.
And then I started working on myself, reading the Bible for myself, praying for myself. The internet makes understanding the Bible, I think, a lot easier than when I was a kid, because I can go read a book in the Bible and then I can get on the internet and watch 2 or 3 people break down that book in the Bible. And then because I've surrounded myself with so many people with a similar worldview, I can call Anthony, I can call TJ Moe, I can call Tyler Carden, I can call Gaston Mooney, I can call Virgil Walker, this whole little group of friends.
Nice.
They have incredible wisdom into the same journey that I'm on. Some of them maybe a bit further along.
Yeah.
But I just changed up my circle and just changed up it's the reason I'm doing this show. If I wanted to stay in corporate media, I could have stayed in corporate media and been making a lot more money. But I wanted to be in a work environment where you're in a 2,500, 3,000 square foot place. There's probably 7 Bibles in here. And all these guys that work with me know.
I know you got the pastor here today. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Anthony's, a big part of what we do here with Fearless, and he's kind of our spiritual guy.
I love that, man. That's what you were sharing, how you deal with your traumas. And that's what we like to share on the CT ESPN pod. What was your shape to get back to greatness and how you overcome all that adversity? You just said it. You put a good team in place. You surrounded yourself with the right people, like-minded people who wanted the same thing you wanted for yourself. They had the same spiritual relationship with God that you had, and you worked on yourself. And those are things we like to focus on with different athletes, and you being an athlete yourself, learning those things, how you aligned yourself to come back with your purpose, to be your higher self and be your best self. And as humans, we all fall short of the glory, and we all facing some things that we're working from or working towards or working to be better from. And we all gotta find that team or the people that we can surround ourselves with that could bring out our ultimate purpose to help us continue to define our life. And that was good you explained that, some of you phases show your humanism. Because most time people in the media, you can feel like your word is everything and everything you saying. And as a player too, we could feel that if you having success on the football field, you can feel like you're, what I mean?
Your own God.
Yeah. And we gotta know we are not gods, we're human. We bleed, we emotional, we physical beings, spiritual beings. And people are made of 3 phases: mental, physical, and emotional. And when you ain't at your right levels, physical, mental, emotional, you're gonna make irrational decisions. And that's why I've preeminent myself on therapy and working with the people that help me constantly make sure I'm at the best level of myself.
So I have no insight into what you're doing now, and so I don't want to speculate.
Yeah.
I would just say, I'm just telling you, based off of me following your career since college and being a fan, because I'm telling you, and the combination of you and Big Ben, because I'm a Mac guy,
Yeah.
I've been following you and rooting for you,
Yeah.
and feel like, because I'm very sympathetic towards young athletes that maybe don't come from the best situations.
Yeah.
And then at 21, 22, someone dumps millions of dollars in your lap.
Yeah.
That's a life-changing event that, to be honest, we haven't been prepared for. And so there's going to be mistakes.
I mean, it's going to be mistakes, but that way you align yourself with the right people that can help you, protect you from the mistakes, and you do your best to learn on the course of the journey in regards of what you face, and communicate it with smarter people that can provide you the help as you get through it. Because it's a blessed situation to be in. We all, as young athletes coming from different situations, want to change our lives. And football presents us that opportunity to change our lives. And yeah.
So let me ask you this, just because you've had so much success and you've overcome so much, and because you do have a respect for and desire a relationship with God. Part of the debate we were having about Big Ben, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, part of it to me is rooted in, do you see yourself as a victim? And
I see myself as a blessing. I see myself as a blessing to others. I feel like I'm a guy who got fame, but I hope I could use my fame to help others. You know what I mean? That's what God sent us here for, to be a vessel for people, to use our stories of what we get through to motivate others. And that's kind of what I'm here for. You know, obviously I know God sent me to play football, but I know it was a reason for me playing football, not just to make highlights and play. You know, to be that example and to be that light and to be that the voice of overcoming. You know what I mean? Overcoming adversity. How you handle adversity. You know what I mean? I feel like the way you handle adversity is the way you're going to get through life, because we all got adversity. Life's not perfect. I'm made with lemons. You're going to have to make lemonade. So for me, it's just about overcoming adversity and being that light for others to relate. You know what I mean? That I done been through so much, but accomplished so much, and still, you know, out to accomplish. Never gave up, never gave in, never let nobody deteriorate my motive of who I am, you know what I mean, or what they expect of me.
I don't want to bore you, but I want to hammer in on the point, the debate we were having.
Yeah.
And just, you asked a question about, Jason, are you aware Black people are getting treated this way as opposed to white people?
Yeah.
And so what I would, I have experience, and I'm gonna drop some names here. Some the audience will know real well, others you may not know as well, but I was in Kansas City for 16 years, and that's where I made my name as a sports writer.
Yeah.
And there was a 16-year stretch from 1994 to 2010 that anybody with an objective point of view on sports writing from 1994 to 2010, there was nobody in the country better than me. And I was better than virtually everybody else in the country. That's an objective. You can look at the awards, you can just look at the impact. The Kansas City Star was aware of how successful I was. Yeah. They hired a white dude named Joe Posnanski. And the Kansas City Star did everything in its power to promote this guy over me.
Yeah.
And so I was there for 16 years. I think Joe Posnanski arrived 2 or 3 years after me. And he was there for a shorter period of time. So there was like a 12-year span where my newspaper, that I was clearly the dominant voice, they promoted a white guy over me. It frustrated me, but it never deterred me. It never, that's on them. If they wanted to be idiots and wanted to be stupid, but when it eventually came time, like whose legacy has lasted, who's still known as a great sports writer, who won the most prestigious awards while there at the Kansas City Star, who did Oprah Winfrey choose to have on her show? Me. I won in every category. And so I couldn't get caught up in their small-mindedness, see myself as a victim, and come off my course. Today, I'll give a name that people are more familiar with. There's no one that thinks Stephen A. Smith is a more talented sports commentator than me. No one thinks that. But does he make $13, $14, $15 million a year? Yes. More than me? Yes. That's all accurate. I can't concern myself with that. Doesn't make me a
100%.
victim. And so whatever level of fame that Angel Reese isn't getting because they're giving it to Caitlin Clark, I would advise Angel Reese, don't worry about that.
It's not a fame, though. It's just the opportunity to level the playing field of just getting notarized. And I feel like we don't have to make ourselves victims by the things we go through. I feel like the things we go through, we got to get through them because those things are from God. But we can't ask for, as humans, a fair playing field in regards of getting the same opportunities that other people get. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not being victim. It's just stating the truth or the obvious, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's not to minimize your role or make excuses about, you know what I mean? I just feel like we as humans, we should have the opportunity to, you know, to ask for a fair playing ground. And there's nothing wrong with it, you know, and not let, because I feel like I had it the hardest. I had to get through a lot of things that maybe was unfamiliar, but you don't make excuses. Whatever you got to get through and go through, you know it's from God. And if you get through it the right way with God, you know you're going to come out on the other end. But as a human, we could ask for the normalcy of being treated as a human.
So again, there's asking for, and then what you do have the right to here in America is to build your own.
Exactly.
And again, I'm looking at you with this CT, ESPN, or whatever.
We might need to get you on there a couple of times as the OG to help us out.
Yeah. And so, but again, you have to build your own. You have that right. My father, I've told this story before, the audience will have heard it, but my father didn't graduate from high school, got drafted into the Army, came out of the Army. He was a street dude, came out of the Army. They dressed him up, cleaned him up quite a bit. He started his own business because he was working at Chrysler and factory job, and his white supervisor questioned him about reading the autobiography of Malcolm X on his lunch break. And my father was like, man, I ain't gonna work for nobody just questioning what book I read. So he started his own business in the black community and had businesses in the black community for the rest of his life. He built a brand new home in the black community. He built his own little plot of happiness in Indianapolis amongst people that he loved and cared about. People hear me talk about his bar, the Masterpiece Lounge, and Jimmy's J Bar at J, my favorite places on earth. And that has always stuck with me throughout the rest of my life. I'm not dependent upon what white people will allow me to do. I can build my own. The reason why I can have you on this show and have the conversation, because we couldn't have this conversation on ESPN.
Yeah, they won't allow that.
I had to build my own so that AB can come on, Jason Whitlock can come on and say whatever he wants. You can come on and say whatever you want. I don't have to sit here and try to rub it in your face. Well, you made this mistake, and what about this girl, and what about blah, blah, blah. I don't have to do all that. I can have a conversation with you, know that you made some mistakes, and know that if we really went conversation toe to toe, I would have to cop to some mistakes that's just as bad as any mistake they hanging over your head.
Sure.
I could sit here and tell stories for days because I used to love strip clubs and strippers.
Are you like the big BBLs too?
Not a BBL guy. Used to be.
You like the natural?
Yeah, I'm more, but anyway.
I really like this.
I'm just, so you can, that's why we have to divorce ourselves from victimhood because you're.
No, it's not victimize it. I'm just saying like, yo, we should, like you're right, we should never let the position we're in or somebody make a decision that out of our control. Of course, yes, we have to control what we control. We gotta stay purpose driven. We can't be deteriorated by someone else not giving us what we think we deserve. We can't have no expectation to think that we owe something or somebody's supposed to do something for us. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, yo, we are equipped to overcome anything we're facing. We got God with us. We can persevere. You can work yourself to be in the position you want. You can create your own opportunity in America, which allow us to. All I'm saying as normal human being people, we can ask for a better opportunity, a better service, but at the end of the day, we control our own reality. You only is gonna be as good as you want yourself to be or you work yourself to be. So You right on that. We don't make no excuses. Point no fingers. We don't minimize our role in regards of what the situation is. I mean, we have the power as people, as human, to will ourselves in the position we want to be by manifesting, working hard, and knowing what to do and understanding how to do it. So I'm with you on that.
I want to be clear. I've turned into a bit of an Angel Reese fan because
Angel Reese a baddie. Shout out to Angel Reese. If she start making 100 mils, you gonna fly me out, baby.
Not because I just love the femininity she's brought. And
she a baddie, huh? Cause you said she a baddie?
It's not my language.
What would you say if a girl hot? What would the OG say?
I think she's very feminine, presents herself in.
Come on, man.
You see how masculine these women are presenting themselves?
I know, but she's more feminine.
I know. That's
what you think about that.
What higher praise in this time could I give a woman like you present yourself in a very feminine way?
Yeah, but they don't like to hear like that. A feminine way is not telling a woman she's hot. Like, how you tell a woman you hot at 57? You say you smoking? Like, you feel me? You treacherous? Like, you a baddie? What'd you call her? I'm trying to learn what an OG is saying. Like,
you're talking about OG Christian.
OG Christian, like, what's the rapper Christian?
Love
Lucas?
the way she presents herself in a feminine fashion. Wish she'd cover up just a little bit more.
Yo, that's some cracker shit right there. Like, I love the way you present yourself. Like,
that's how. Look, man, these women are coming out all tatted up.
Listen to Lacrosse, right? Lacrosse is a Christian rapper. Lecrae, yeah. What would he say?
I'm more into Bizzle. You ever heard of Bizzle?
What would Bizzle say? Like, what would he say? A baddie?
He's a rapper and he's younger than me.
So what would an OG say? Like, you got some junk in your trunk. You got it going on.
She's fine.
She a rabbit.
She's fine.
Okay, yeah. All right. Could you just say Angel Reese?
Angel Reese is fine for a 6'3" woman. She's a little too tall for me.
So you have been that over?
See, that's why I was being careful.
That was just a question. I didn't say, are you going to? I said, will you? Like,
AB. So we agree on Angel Reese. I would love for you to just take your sunglasses off for one moment.
Okay.
And tell Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
What's in your real heart for Caitlin Clark? I want to bring peace to you and Caitlin Clark.
Oh, yeah. Caitlin Clark, we love you. There's no drama here. I'm excited about what you're going to do for the women's basketball. You're an amazing player. I love to watch your game. It brings a lot of excitement and energy. Never mind CTS, ESPN. We'll love to have you talk, express what you deal with, your traumas, your adversities, how you continue to be great. From people like me in the media bringing awareness to you, maybe the wrong or the right. It's all in positivity. It's all in fun and games. And continue to be great. Continue to keep focused of being the best athlete you want to be. Continue to lead women's sports, pioneering it the way you want to pioneer it. I have a daughter. They look up to you. Look up to everything you guys are doing. So shout out to you, Caitlin Clark. And if it's Harry, don't worry about it.
What's up with you and Keisha Cole?
Oh, Keisha Cole? That's my baby, man. We made a song called Don't Leave. You heard it?
No.
Apple Music, AB, the artist, Keisha Cole. I got an album. You never heard my album, AB
I heard
Paradigm?
some of it.
Me and Keisha Cole got a song. It's called Don't Leave. And she left. So could you get that back for me? I need you to put that in the media. I'm trying to get her back. She's on
I know, that's why I'm asking.
She's on tour, Lovers and Friends. I'm trying to pop out, see her and stuff. You know?
What happened?
I just messed it up. You know, being a young player, you know, I can't keep one. I keep messing it up.
So why should she come back?
I mean, all good girls come back. Hit from the back, and she coming back to me. That's how I usually work, Mr. Whitlock.
What do you think about the Kendrick Lamar-Drake beef?
I feel like our idols need to stop being rivals because we just all coexist. It's greater planet when we all work together and create more opportunities for the other people coming behind. It's good to have competitive wars and competition of who could be great with rap, but we gotta learn as black people how to not have wars, you know what I'm saying? It could be a friendly competition, not like a war competition, but I feel like as black people in our culture, that's all we know is war. And it can't be a few great of us, it's always gotta be one. So I feel like we gotta know how to coexist with stars and not compare and beat each other down We gotta learn to coexist and just say who great and what it is and move on.
Have you listened to the song?
Of course.
Do you think someone won and someone lost?
I mean, they both creative. It's viral. It's
you can't pick a winner?
I mean, I got my own beef.
With who?
And my pants is called Wagyu. Mr. Whitlock, I got my own beef, man. You gotta worry about your own beef. It's in my pants, man. I gotta keep my beef in the dark. My beef go to costing me support and shit, Mr. Whitlock. I got CTE on my beef. I'm about to close it in the dough, slam it in the dough. Make it swell up.
I wasn't ready for that one. I was.
Come on, man, it's fearless.
You know what I almost said?
It's fearless with Mr. Jason Whitlock.
You know, I almost said you caught me with my pants down. I'm glad I didn't say that.
You feel me?
So
Put them pants down, he shit it.
let me move you back to safer territory.
All right, this is fearless with Jason Whitlock.
I agree, and you've been very fearless.
You did.
2027,
Yes.
there's a group of guys going into the Hall of Fame.
Woo!
And it's a great list.
Come on, man. Me and Ben together. Mac School guys, Miami, Ohio, Central Michigan. 2 Mac Daddies to go in the Hall of Fame at the same time for Steelers history. That's pretty legendary.
There's some other guys on that list. And
Show me that list because I know you a high rater. You could tell me who really got a chance. I think me and Ben Roethlisberger go down together. How, like that? Only God can make that happen. Let's be real.
I agree.
How we landed at the same time.
Tell me this: are you concerned? Are you concerned that they could try to TO you?
I feel like why everybody like I walked in today, a lady told me I was like Dennis Rodman. I feel like people try to compare me with all these players and people they may not understand who may have had media. The thing difference between me and Terrell Owens, let me tell you. Terrell Owens got drafted by who? 49ers, right?
Yeah.
Who's the number 1 receiver in the 49ers?
Jerry Rice.
Okay, so like, the thing with the NFL, it's one receiver, right? It's the number 1 guy they usually put in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
So how could, like, what team did even Terrell Owens go down with? Who did he go down with the Hall of Fame? Which team? I don't even think he took a team.
It's tough. It's
Exactly. The thing that's the difference between Antonio Brown, I got more stats than Hahn Ward, so I could go down as the number 1 receiver. And can you pull that up real quick?
You also have a Super Bowl ring. T.O. doesn't have a Super Bowl ring.
Now we get into You know the number 1 thing in America? Prostitution. You gotta get I'm saying that to say this. When the baby's born, the mama have to put them on the nutrition. We're getting right to the malnutrition with the numbers you just stated out. AB's a champion. AB's number 1 in Steelers history as a receiver, and I have a chance to go down with the number 1 quarterback in Steelers history. I think Dan
Terry
Rooney.
Bradshaw?
I mean, Terry is up there, but I
Super
think
Bowls, yeah.
I think he got Ben Rowe Super Bowl, but I think Ben passed him in the stats.
Okay. Different eras now.
I understand the errors. I'm
You know
just
how much
talking about-
easier it is?
You go with your OG stuff. I get it. I get it. We could talk eras all day. All I'm saying, he's going to be number 1 in Steelers history. So there's no point in the time in the world besides 2027 when the Steelers can have their number 1 receiver and number 1 quarterback together in the Hall of Fame.
You're not concerned. Again, you say the media is unfair. They could be.
The media love us. They love me, bro. They need guys like me who show people the real authenticity of being their true selves and showing people their vulnerability and how they deal with traumas and how they can deal with traumas to be better. That's what my MO is. How could I use what I've been through, my story, what I persevered through, and help other people to be at their best on CTE ESPN. But 2027, that's gonna be a big time for the Steelers organization, Steelers history. Can you look up where me and Big Ben rank as a
combination?
Combo, yeah.
It's up there high. But Rob Gronkowski's in this class. Adrian Peterson's in this
They
class.
could be able to join us. How many of those guys could go?
Richard Sherman's in this class.
Man,
Andrew Whitworth is in this class.
So what you think? How many they pick?
Le'Veon Bell's in this class.
That's good.
Yeah,
Who got the highest grade on that? Can you just tell me where my grade is? Because I know I'm up past some of these guys.
If I had to rank those players, the only one, well, I put you and Gronk and AP at the top.
Of course.
I would.
They usually put grades on there. I think my grade is pretty good for that year, right?
I don't, again, that's no slight on Ben Roethlisberger, but again, when you start ranking greatest wide receivers of all time, even with you not having the best finish, you rank higher on the receivers list than Ben does on the quarterbacks list.
Yeah.
You probably rank higher than Adrian Peterson on the running backs, on the wide receivers list, and AP on the running backs list.
Yeah.
Gronkowski's probably the greatest tight end, or he's in the conversation with Tony Gonzalez and.
Yeah, I got more
Kellen
yards and
Winslow.
catches than him though.
Well, y'all play different positions.
Don't matter. He get thrown the ball, I get it too. It's competition. It is what it is. When you roll out the walking, talking stats, the breathing, you know my film is my walking, talking resume. When you pull up the resume, I have more.
You told Tyreek Hill, I think, that Deion Sanders is your inspiration.
He is. Yeah, I love Deion.
You want to coach?
No, I don't want to coach. I'm not a coach. I'm not a coach.
Do you think you have the right personality to be a coach?
I feel like I definitely got the right. My dad was a coach, but I feel like I got kids. I want to coach my own kids. I don't want to. You feel me?
Deion is coaching his own kids.
I know. He's doing it right. Maybe if I could be Deion one day, I would try when I'm like 40-something. But right now, I'm not coaching no one. I could be a life coach, CT, ESPN. I could help you like navigate through things. But to be showing up and meeting rooms and be around guys all day and travel, I can't do that.
I don't think it fits Deion's personality either.
Yeah, I don't know how he do that. I don't know how he do that. Deion must got something set up I don't know about because I'm like, I don't know how he do that.
He don't leave his office.
But he's been doing it since his kids was in like high school, that prime prep. He's been committed to coaching. I think he took some years off to start coaching. That's been his passion, coach kids. You know, I don't really like to coach.
Did you know that I've been pretty critical of Deion? We were worried that
I've been seeing you been on his body. What's up with that?
I don't think he's got the right personality to coach. I think he's a great player.
Deion's a leader, man. Deion was a two-time athlete. Some of the experience this guy done had to be a coach, like that's who you want to be around, though, to be a coach, a guy like that who just got the experience from every level. And he was always a great player, like since from walking on the Florida State. So you know he has some intangibles about himself to just the way he acted, the tenacity he went about just sports, his attitude, the way he looked, the confidence. Like Deion Sanders don't get enough credit for what he did in the
He actually played in the wrong. He actually played in the wrong era.
And he was actually a good artist with music. You know, me and Deion Sanders got a song together, a whole lot of money. You know, he on a remix.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I gotta get you involved with my. Maybe we need to have a fearless creative session to find out what athletes do outside of being an athlete. I'm sure you got some type of hidden talent. You know what I mean?
Eating. That's my hidden talent.
Did you do the hot dog contest? You look like you could be a glizzy master.
White Castle contest.
Oh, the little small burgers. I know about that
Yeah,
White Castle. That's after the club.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to have a fearless White Castle contest for the old linemen who come on the show.
The other thing I wanted to ask you before we get you out of here, where are you at on the political spectrum? You're not a fan of Joe Biden or what?
Nah, I like Donald Trump. I seen Joe Biden online. He was shitting on himself and like falling all over. I'm like, yo, what's going on with him? He got teleprompters everywhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, I got a good political opinion, but you know what I'm saying? I want the world to be a better place. I feel like we probably could do better with Trump helping more businesses and like coming back and taking over the 2024.
So you think Biden pooped his pants on that other video?
That's what the video showed. He was looking real shitty. Like, I know we all make mistakes. I mean, you shitted yourself before, right?
Actually, I have, but go ahead.
God damn. This CT ESPN right here. That's a shitty message for you right there. But yeah, I just feel like, as the country, we need to do a better job of, you know what I'm saying, with everything that's been going, the pandemic, the shots, everything that's been going.
Have you met Trump or you want to meet Trump?
I met him on the phone before I talked to him on the phone with Tom Brady one time. Yeah, he seemed like a cool guy.
You think Brady likes Trump, but he just can't admit it?
Yeah, he probably definitely like a candidate. I can, though. Shout out to Donald Trump. You know what I mean? On the president's election, I might be coming to one of his inaugurations to the speech, Hear You. I may be coming to one of the speeches.
Maybe we should. We should go to Mar-a-Lago and kick it. They throw
Let's
great
go,
parties.
man. We'll be the of the day for that. That'd be a good segment for us, man. On Fearless, me and Jason Whitlock of the day at the Trump inauguration. Maybe we should shit our pants. We should get real shitty.
Have I forgot? Is there anything I should have asked you that I haven't asked you?
Did we miss something?
No, I don't think we did either. AB, I love this. This was great.
It was a movie theater, Fearless. AB here with Jason Whitlock on Fearless.
Man.
Have no fear in your life.
The only thing, I'm going to ask one final question.
Okay.
Are you a fan of Angel Reese or do you like Angel Reese?
I'm just a fan of Angel Reese. Angel Reese is a young, talented girl. She don't need to deal with AB. AB got a lot of drama and shit. She need to be great, you know what I'm saying? I'm just excited for her success to be able to
Be a great combination. You ever hear Chad Johnson talk about how he chose?
Oh yeah.
He dated tall women.
Yeah, but I want her to have a good career, like.
Yeah, you would mess that up.
Yeah, I'll blow her up, like, Senator. Yeah, I'll ruin her career. She'll be like in the spittle with a big belly. Yeah, Angel Reese, you're hot, babe. You need to focus on your career, make as much as you can while you can. Stay away from guys like AB because if I touch down, you gotta clear the runway. It might be crazy.
AB, thank you so much.
Fearless here with Mr. Jason.
Appreciate it.
Game time.
Catch you next time. Play tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.
Waiting for the countdown, coming off the breakdown, standing in line for freedom. Looking for a breakout, feeling like a standoff, nothing in life like freedom. Came in like a fighter, striking like a ladder, making all these moves for freedom. I want freedom. No negotiation, my sister, no relation. We all just wanna have freedom. Sitting on a corner, never been alone. I'm breaking my back for freedom. Blessed, we are living, get back. We are receiving, all deceiving. We all wanna be free. We want freedom.